What's happening? 50 years of hip hop. Yo, man, get right to it. Yes or no? Anybody read the article in Billboard? I know many people probably seen the video, but anybody read it? Yes or no? In the chat, real quick. I think it was an interesting article. They asked some pretty solid questions. KC1, Adriel, what up, family? Have you seen the video? All right, yeah. I haven't watched the video yet. I'm gonna check it out. Article was dope though, man. He was They asked some solid questions. Mike H was good. I think the biggest quote, man, when he was talking about how they went about this whole hip hop 50 situation. And he said, for a couple of years we've been talking about this day coming. It's great to see it's great to see everything happening too. You see some of the pioneers outside more and more being celebrated. Everybody's gathering around this whole moment to make the world know, not to sweep this under the rug. And it got me to thinking about last week's live when we was talking about the whole MC Shan situation. And that's confirmation. They've been planning this for 4 to 5 plus years. That's crazy because Billboard reached out to his Mass Appeal partner for the 44th anniversary of hip hop. And they did like this animation situation. And they've seen the vision from that moment. And now they're here about to have a show at Yankee Stadium. So that further confirms what I was thinking and the rest of you were thinking, most of you in the comment section, about the OGs. A lot of them dropped the ball, man. They were not ready for the moment. And it's kind of like disheartening to see some people, quote unquote, being left out, not because of hate, not because of lack of catalog, but because they weren't prepared for the moment. And that's the lesson to all of us, man, no matter what it is. Lock in. You got goals. When things are come to fruition, nobody's giving you anything out here. Nothing. Nothing at all. Anybody going to Yankee Stadium on Friday? As a matter of fact, no. Let's rewind that. Is anyone going to Rock the Bells Festival today out in Queens? Shout out to LL. Yeah, the article was A1, Adriel. Yo, sometimes in these publications, you can tell like who's a fan or who's really listening to music, because sometimes you'll get like those surface level questions where they'll always go back to Illmatic. You're like, all right, I already heard about this. But whoever, I didn't get the name, whoever interviewed him for this particular article, they definitely they asked the questions I wanted to know about. Hip Hop 50, his relationship with Hit Boy, where he is now as far as making music. And then they would like, it's open-ended questions to where you allow the artist to not only answer that question, but it goes somewhere else. So that's good journalism. What we got here? We're gonna go right to the comments. Article was A1. I like how Nas challenged the rest of his era. It was also dope. He showed Hit Boy love in the article. Yes, sir. Shout out to Mass Appeal for prepping 5 years in advance. 5 years. And that's why everything seems to be successful, because they put the time in. But I also like the fact that he didn't make it about himself. In the article, he's also stating how other people are doing shows as well. And LL happens to be someone too, Rock the Bells, the festival today. So it's not about one individual, one person's catalog. It's about the culture, it's history. 50 years of hip hop. Like when you first started listening to it, I know some of your parents, including mine, were like, they didn't understand it. It was like noise to them. And look how it's progressed. Whether you like today's music or not, it is part of the genre, and it's continuing to push forward, because we have an opportunity to actually witness hip hop 50, just like back in 97, some of us had an opportunity to witness the NBA 50th anniversary. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what's going to happen in the next 50 years. No one can plan out life, but being that you can be a part of history, whether you're going to concerts, reading articles, posting music, putting somebody else on the game, that's what it's all about. 5 years. Oh, you flew up for MSG? Probably gonna miss Yankee Stadium. Yeah, I was just looking at the tickets at Yankee Stadium this morning. I've been on the fence about it, but the more and more I see the marquee and the flyers and people talking about it, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I don't know. It's either that or the Wu show in September. But that joint looking like it's gonna be epic. Hasn't sold out as of yet, so it should be cool, man. Definitely, man, for sure. What we got? Nas with the pinky ring on the cover, pinky ring glitter like the socks and the glove. Listen, man, it seems like everything is thought out now, right? Like very strategic, everything that they do. And they're having tons of fun, man. I think that's what makes it so exciting. Like sometimes you used to look at a Nas interview, and it was almost like he was almost as disinterested as you were. Like, and as a fan, you like, wow, he acts like he doesn't even want to be there. But he seems to be having fun in this particular stage in his career. He also stated that he had a quote about that, how he has had many great times throughout his career, but this particular moment and this feeling is unmatched. And I guess the albums and he's turning 50, hip hop is turning 50. And to think like a young man coming to game around 91, and now you're in a position to where you're making sure that hip hop is on major stages. And think about how many artists came out around that time. And some people don't even listen to their music. Meanwhile, he's progressed into not only an artist, but a CEO. Not easy, man. It's not easy. What's the Force tour you guys are talking about? Gotta look that up. Ultra Black, salute to you, man. Man, I do it for hip hop, man. Yeah, I love this. I love it when we talk about the music. All the other antics and stuff like that, man, I try to stay away from that. And I think the audience respects that. Like, keep it about the music, man, and uplift those who are really putting in the work. Because we're gonna keep saying 50 years of hip hop. This should be the year where all the nonsense is put to the side. Everybody should be eating. Everyone should get their flowers, and everybody should put the work in. The fans see who's putting that work in too. For all the artists out there, it's many people who should be outside. And you have, I just seen a show where I think Rakim was with the Roots, right? Or Robert Glasper. Everyone is outside. A lot of people outside, man. Whether you respect it or not, Jay may not have music out, but he has the exhibit. Like, you have to tell your story. This is history. Here we got. I'm 45, going to Tennessee September 20th for the Nas and Wu concert. Yeah, I think I've never seen Wu live. I think that's a bucket list situation too. Like, I gotta check them out. So maybe I'll go to both concerts. I need to see the Wu live, and I put it on my Twitter the other day. Kool G Rap. I need to see G Rap live as well. Hopefully that comes to fruition too. LL has a, oh really? Oh, that's fire. LL is a phenomenal performer, man. Like when we're talking about hip hop, right, and contributions, LL has to be like top five most accomplished individuals, right? Like, because obviously he got the Grammy Awards and stuff like that, but he has the charismatic ways to even host like a major award show, acting. Now he has the Rock the Bell situation, the station itself, and now he's putting on a festival. There's very few people who've done it like LL. Not to mention, many rappers are inspired by him. Without him, there wouldn't be a slew of other rappers. And he kind of gets overlooked. It's kind of like he's an acknowledged rapper who's underrated. It's weird. I can't really put it into words, but I don't think LL gets the credit he deserves. And he's a spitter. Don't ever forget that. Don't let the shorty tracks and stuff like that, some of the fumbles with regards to some of his albums fool you. LL is a certified problem. Said, I seen Wu live in ATL, but the crowd was so damn loud you couldn't even hear. That's crazy. That's a good thing, though, at least for them, right? I got to check out the Wu, man. I have to. I wonder, because this is what, like the second leg of that tour, right? I guess it was a success. They went overseas, I believe, right? And now they're coming back. Some of the individuals, because before the Garden show, many people were talking about that tour and how Nas was getting into its B-sides. Yeah. So they've been on a roll for a little bit. Now I haven't seen that LL new freestyle and sway. Have you seen that LL freestyle and sway? In one word, describe it in the chat right now. I heard about it, but that's something I don't really want to glance over. I want to sit with it and catch everything he's talking about. Describe if you've seen that, the video, describe that in one word. Some other quotes from this Nas article. Guys should go check it out, man. Definitely fire. What do you say? Regarding, he said, I made an album called Hip Hop is Dead in 2006. Sorry, not sorry, but I did because there were so many times the powers of the music was in the wrong hands, not artists, but business people. To see that we're here and hip hop is thriving is incredible. In hindsight, I can't honestly say that I understand why some people felt the way they did when he said it, but he was right, man. He was right. Because look at how many individuals are controlling their own destiny now. And that quote speaks volumes as well. It was fire, professional. I'm gonna check that out. He killed it, but you can tell some of it wasn't off the dome. Yeah, that's always the case though. With an individual like that who's so busy, I ain't expecting too much in the sense that if he's just giving bars, I'm cool with that. And that's probably like the warm up because everybody's talking about the Q-Tip album, right? I need that this year. Real rap. That's gonna be fire. We got here. Ease. I may have said it before in here, but I turned 50 back in December. My album dropped in a couple of weeks called Half a Hundred. Wrapped up mastering on Thursday. Can't describe the feeling. Listen, man, when it drops, as a matter of fact, put it in the comment section of a video. We're definitely gonna check it out. Davion Green, a supporter for real. Like, let us know. I'm always open to new music, man. What's your favorite? What's my favorite album? By who? We got to I don't know. We got to filter that out. Favorite Nas album? Favorite hip hop album? Favorite R&B album? TJ, good morning, sir. What's good? When artists who have put 20 plus years in the game not being played on the radio, yes, the game is in the wrong hands. You know what? That is a valid point. But my question, first of all, yes or no, do you listen to radio? I mean, like terrestrial radio, not Sirius XM or anything like that. Like your local radio station. Yes or no, do you listen to radio? I mean, you like. I'm not talking about it like if you got the kids in the car or the wife want to hear like some Lenny Green, Quiet Storm. I mean, like, do you listen to the radio in your car or anywhere for that matter? My goodness. All right, yeah. I almost never do. Yeah, same here. Even with like, even if you're in the tri-state area, I think they got like the 94.7, a throwback station. No one listens to that radio at all. Because I'm eager to know how this works. Because I think the playlist is giving us so much freedom to where. All right. So why don't you listen to radio? Is it because like what TJ stated, how like 20 plus years artists are in the game and no one has the freedom or getting radio play? Or is it because like the freedom of creating your own playlist? Like what led to you saying I'm not listening to radio anymore? Same songs every day. Yeah, it's programmed for sure. I listen to 94.7 Berkeley Smith. Yeah, I figured that. Some throwbacks. So much music in my head and so much access, yes. Play the same 5 songs over and over. Clue tapes. No variety. All right. Wow. Because as a fan of hip hop as well, I may put on 94.7 from time to time just to hear some throwbacks. But the fact of the matter is, like you said, the access has put us in a position to where you don't even have to wait on DJ Scratch or Red Alert to even play those records because you can play whenever you want. And you don't even have to queue up a CD. You don't have to physically go down in the basement and grab a tape deck or put the vinyl on. You can literally go on your streaming services or, I don't know, whatever, YouTube, press play and it's there. So as radio stations, do you kind of fault them for doing what they do? Because individuals like us, if we're not tuning in, I guess the business model is that playing the 5 songs is going to lead to the advertising, and that's what's going to keep the lights on. But I'm not sure what led to that, though. Did we go away because of the programming, or did they switch up because we had more options, and now they have to go this route? Yo, this is yo, I think I'm this. This is a great comment, man. I already know what I want to listen to by the time my feet hit the floor out the bed, and I go straight to that. Options. Options. We got here. Also, Nas gave credit to the West and South in the article. Dope that he didn't make it all about NYC. He's spreading love for real. Yes, because that's what hip hop is all about, right? And I guess if you look at the Yankee Stadium show, it's a little bit of everything. You got Manny Fresh DJing, you got Wayne coming out, Ice Cube making an appearance, Snoop, Wiz. Because even as a New York native, sometimes you catch yourself where when you speak of hip hop, is mine, is ours. But I think everyone, it's like when you have your run, you always kind of like gravitate towards that. But hip hop is a global thing now. In order for it to have thrived and survived 50 years, it couldn't have been regional. Now you can big up your regional acts and who you love, but hip hop belongs to everybody. It may have been birthed in a particular place now, but hip hop belongs to them all of us. And yeah, he definitely was showing love. Just alone the fact that he's working with Hit Boy, that's East and West Coast. Period. Jay Boogie was good. Good morning. Salute to the chat and ease, blessings, health, happiness. Appreciate that. I dropped a 50-year anniversary called 1973 on the Knicks rapped every play on the team. Is on streaming services. Matter of fact, put a link in the chat so I can start and I'll listen to it later. Appreciate that. Programming. The article was I'm not sure. Matter of fact, let me find it for you. It's only right. It is Hip Hop 50, how Nas orchestrated a golden celebration. It's on Billboard. And although it's on the magazine, it's available on the website as well. So and you won't get any ads where you have to subscribe. You can just literally click it and it's there. Let me see if I can find the link for you. I was just looking on my phone. Got you. It's a dope article though. Real, man. Very good quotes. Very good quotes. Like I was stating how he's giving everyone the love. He also stated it's growing every day up until August 11th, which is the actual 50th anniversary. That's on Friday, when Mass Appeal has put together the Yankee Stadium and the Bronx concert on the birthday of hip hop. Other artists and networks are doing cool things too. I'm gonna keep stating that because LL has a festival today out in Queens, Forest Hills. I think I seen a video when he was just walking around Queens giving out tickets. That's fire, man. Shout out to Queens. What's the difference between Nas and AZ in your opinion? Oh man, that's a great question. Before I answer that, everyone else, I want to see you answer that in the chat. Doesn't have to be a paragraph, maybe a sentence or two. What's the difference between AZ and Nas in your opinion? I'll state mine as well. That's a good question. The difference between AZ and Nas. Well, I'll get right to it. I think as an artist, Nas is more versatile. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. They think as if you're sliding AZ. AZ is a phenomenal rapper. He's a certified problem. He's who he is. As a matter of fact, just judging from the career that he's had and by the decisions that he's made, a lot of people haven't survived this long. He's coming off a solid album, Do or Die 2. That was what, a year and a half ago? AZ is who he is, but as far as artistry goes, Nas is much more creative than him. Because when you rap, hip hop artist is much more than rap, right? At least for us, like when we listen to music, we're looking for an array of different things. It's not just metaphors and entendres. You want concepts, you want depth, you want replay value. You just want a list of different things. And Nas kind of checks all boxes. AZ has more weaknesses. Don, I like that. Vision. Yes, that's good. Storytelling ability, hook ability. Nas is more personable. He answers who, what, why, and where AZ said doesn't want to expose his personal life as much. Interview with Swift. That's okay. Said fetus. Yeah. That's just my take on it. Doesn't make AZ I don't know, a subpar rapper. I think that's why they just never made an album together. Like I think it would have been very stagnant. In the sense that if you listen to the majority of their records that they've done together, they're fire. But it's kind of like the same content over and over. But I love AZ. If I needed a 16 and we're judging by an entire career, he would be like top 5 in the sense that I know that he won't fail me. AZ is a problem. AZ is a problem. I tend to like him over more melodic production, like smooth joints. But that's just my preference. I thought AZ was more comparable to Jay. Yeah, they have, yeah. In the sense of maybe flow and delivery, right? In the sense in that realm, AZ lyrically, AZ's a problem, man. AZ been nice. AZ's nice. Nas has more to say in general, covers more ground. Yeah, he does. I think AZ is like a, how can I put it? Nas is a marathon in the sense, right? AZ comes out the gate quick. You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to some of his best verses, they tend to be the first verse. Always. But I think Nas is a better closer. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. That's why the records they make together, it works. Because that dynamic is perfect. But as far as AZ as a solo artist, and we're comparing Nas and AZ, I think the issue is many of you said it: vision, storytelling, the ability to check all boxes from who, what, when, where, and why. Not only that, but why you are doing it, and just having a plan from beginning to end. Most AZ albums, like you got AWOL, that's fire. You have Pieces of a Man, which is my favorite AZ album. Do or Die 2. It's more so a collection of good songs put together in a sequence well, but he's never really telling a story in a sense. It's just dope rap. Rather Unique may be his best song, though. Lyrical performance. What we got here? M on the Realist took credit for expanding hip hop overseas. I thought that was Wu-Tang. Thoughts? Expanding hip hop overseas. No one, when it comes to hip hop overseas, it's a movement period, right? It's any label, group, entity bigger than Wu when we're talking global. I'm talking about from the beginning to now. Because they've done things I've never thought would be possible, and they did it early on. Like you would see like the Wu wear and stuff like that. They had the stars, and it's global. I've seen Wu-Tang global since the 90s. Like they really tapped into that. I don't know. M sells a bunch of records, but I don't know how he does overseas. And I may sound like a hater, but I don't really know people who play M's music, and people take that the wrong way. So maybe I'm not in tune because I don't. No one I know or hang around or talk hip hop with really plays M music. I've never been in the car and someone was like, "Yo, put on that new M." Never, unless it was attached to something like shock value, like early on in his career when he was like dissing pop stars and stuff. You would like laugh and just look at the videos. But as far as I don't have that connection to M, so it's hard for me to really speak on it because I've never really been a fan. But if we're talking global, maybe I'm being biased, but Wu is different to this day. Don, yeah, Don, that's fire because Public Enemy is global. Public Enemy, Wu, but I think they both would go above M on that list, right? Yeah, but I see someone put Pac in there, but Pac would be like post death though, right? Oh, Adriel, don't do that to us, man. Don't do that. Here we go. Lyrically, rather unique or it ain't hard to tell. Which one you taking? Both similar with them flex and style on mic. It ain't hard to- Mm. Wow, that's a great one. This rather unique. I like rather unique, man. I like it ain't hard to tell as well, but rather unique is phenomenal. I wonder why AZ is like not on a Nas tour. Because you look at some of the shows that he's doing, it's definitely he. Let's just say there's been a large gap that has been created. Like some of AZ's overseas shows are like in like auditoriums. You can see how like Nas is doing large arenas. I wonder why like he wasn't a person that was tapped in to like be the opening act. I'm not trying to like, not to be funny or anything like that. Like he can open up and then you have the Wu and Nas show because people would pay to see that. But I think the only way you'll ever see him in a large show like that or a large arena is if he is attached to an artist like Nas, and that would be perfect because he definitely has catalog. That's my favorite line on Rather Unique. I think I did a short on that. Surgically nice with any verbal device. He was going crazy. You, yes, Daniel, you're right. Snoop Dogg is global and recognizable. 100. Snoop Dogg is the most famous rapper ever, but I'm talking about like global in the sense that Wu fans are like their family. They're not just fans. I mean, I don't know what they tapped into, but they had people feeling like they were actually Wu, like they were from Shaolin, not just fans. They figured out a way to make people feel like they are part of the family. And I don't think a lot of artists can do that. Yeah, it could be an ego thing, but I would definitely pay to see that. AZ, because AZ needs his flowers too. I wonder if he's gonna come out at the Yankee Stadium because Nas brought him out at the Garden, so and we didn't know that was gonna happen. Oh, okay, what we got here? I think, as far as a cult following and really catching the bag overseas, definitely Wu-Tang. But KRS-One was out in Japan heavy, 91. Run DMC, yes, was across the pond, cashing in the late 80s. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I ain't arguing against that. Has anyone in the chat ever seen KRS-One live? Yes or no? That's another bucket list. And I'm not talking about, I like when I say I want to see these individuals live, I don't mean in a sense someone bringing them out for one song. Like I want to see Kool G Rap do an entire set. I want to see KRS-One do an entire set. I would love to see Public Enemy do an entire set. Howard Homecoming in the 90s. Yeah, Wu-Tang's following is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. You can now, even recently, I seen a video on Twitter with some individuals from Asia, like just rapping B-side records word for word. And the thing with Wu-Tang, they had so many different personalities that brought so many people in. Like you may be a Method Man fan, you may be an ODB fan, you may love Ghost or Ray, and then that leads you to go down an entire rabbit hole, and it just takes you places, man. Wu definitely different. Although it would be a good look for AZ, I don't think Nas would even ever ask AZ to open for him because he's humble and probably looks at him as an equal. Nas would just bring him out as a special guest. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. And I can understand that as well. I definitely understand that. But I think it takes away an opportunity for fans to get a chance to hear the rather uniques. Because if he brings AZ out, we're gonna get Life's a B for sure. And then you may get More Money, More Murder, something like that. But AZ has so many different records. I wish he could actually perform those in a large arena. And then yeah, get the notoriety he deserves. Because he's active. He even stated he has a new album on the way. His album is done, but I think that I won't say he deserves more, but a person that active and that nice for so long, much more people should know about him. I seen KRS-One twice in Philly. A hard act to follow. Yeah, I heard, man. I heard KRS-One, once he come on that stage, my uncles told me that you want no problems with that. It's hard to follow that because he takes his performance serious. And he has the records to pull that off, right? Like he's even as a young fella, like you would see videos and his command of a crowd was crazy. He understood that early. He wasn't just walking back and forth, just rapping. He would engage the audience. I have to see that. And one thing, I'm gonna see him because he's still active. So I'm definitely gonna catch a show. Is he at the Yankee Stadium joint? I gotta look that up. Definitely. That's why I was digging when V8 was it VH1? They were doing like the hip hop honors, and you would get an opportunity to see them, and it reminds you that, oh, yeah, I need to go check that out. That's long gone, but yeah, KRS-One is fire. Rather Unique always transports me back to New York summers in '95, rewinding it back to back in the Panasonic. Yeah, that's a different record. Who did that? Pete Rock, right? Did Pete Rock produce that? Yeah, that's a Pete Rock record. They had good chemistry as well. He did Give Me Yours. Yeah. Yeah, that was Pete because I don't think Preem had any records on that debut album. Hold up. What's Buster stopped the show and forced the crowd to sing Mariah part of Give It To Me over and over. Nobody was feeling it. What show was this? Because Buster's a phenomenal performer as well. Oh Happy Jackie. That last verse is that flow. Now that flow on that song is I can't really name 5 rappers who can do that. And he was spitting. The last verse. BA last year. Let's see. AZ needs production that's fire. His beat selection has been sus in the past, unfortunately. Really? I happen to think that AZ chooses solid production. Like on Do or Die 2, there was only one record I didn't like. Well, the production. I have to look it up. But I just thought the sample was repetitive. But for the most part, I think I could be wrong. A lot of it is Sonics too, though. Because if you listen to some of those records, like what album is that I was just listening to? The Format. The mix is horrible. So it may make the production sound bad. But like that era, I think that's the inbox era. Like the Format, AWOL, dope records. but the mixes weren't great. You can tell that it was done. It wasn't done at the state of the art facility. But AZ, man, everyone's saying that AZ's downfall was poor production. Wow, I never. Wow, maybe I was wrong. What's a better album? Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a poll in the joint. Y'all let me know. AZ was at best with half a mil. Quiet Money is legendary. Shout out to half a mil and 77 figures. Shout out to you. A lot of people don't give half a mil his credit. Half a mil had a unique flow. As a matter of fact, if you listen to the Firm album, 97 AZ first verse, what do you say? 200 fallen angels, we balling from every angle. That's half a mil's flow. That's half a mil to a T. Rest in peace to half a mil, man. Half a mil was nice. Now I was just putting together a dream team at one point around that Firm era when you had a young, hungry Nori. Half a mil was getting a little shine. Yeah. Rest in peace to half a mil. Thank you for shedding light on that. I'm a Pieces of a Man guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as albums go, I think that album is better than Do or Die. Because Do or Die has some moments now when you listen to it, it sounds so dated. Like, why'd they make that production choice? But Pieces of a Man, it feels as though he figured it out. Not to say Do or Die is trash. It's not that, but I think Pieces of a Man is the better project. I could be wrong, but if I had to choose one, I'm definitely going that route. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that M alone. Any predictions for a surprise music drop on the 11th? I want to see Legends drop. I wouldn't mind a Nas Lucy track with Primo or a Jay-Z album or a Jadakiss album. Would be lame if no OGs drop. I agree. Predictions? I'll take you up on that Nas Primo joint, a Lucy. I wouldn't mind getting a record from the Q-Tip and LL album that they said they were working on. I would definitely support that. Who else haven't I heard in a while? An OG. I need a Kool G Rap record, but I need a record from Alchemist or someone. You know what I'm saying? Like over that type of production. I didn't. His last project came out like last year, right? And I think Domingo did the production, well, the majority of it. I wasn't really digging it. It sounded dated, like they rushed it. I don't even know if it was old record, so I can't really comment on that. But Kool G Rap, I'll definitely take a record from him. Maybe a Nas and Primo, like you stated. LL, Q-Tip. Who else? I'll take those three. I'm all for that. Kool G Rap and Griselda. That could be interesting. J album. I don't know. I don't think Jay is very interested in rap right now, man. But it is a Friday, right? And everyone seems to drop their releases on Friday. So we never know. We never know. Would y'all support a Jay? No, that's a bad question. Because if you say no, no. Are you anticipating or are you excited or looking forward to a Jay album? Yes and no in the chat. What we got here? Saw a video last night of Hit Boy, Big Hit, Nas, and Alchemist in the studio. I wonder what they were working on. Yeah, I seen that video too, but it was no sound, right? That would be fire. Yo, Big Hit is having the time of his life, right? You know what I'm saying? The album working with his son. He in the studio with Nas and Alchemist. You talk about things turning around for an individual. My God, that's a beautiful thing to watch in real time. That's fire. No, that's fire. Shout out to Hit Boy. Shout out to that whole crew, man. A Distant Relatives album. I'm definitely buying that. And I always not beat myself up, but like get upset that I never went to those shows during that time when Nas and Damien were touring. Like certain songs, or excuse me, certain venues or music or concerts you will never experience again. And you know what they are. So when you see promotion for it, click and support. Because we probably will never see Nas and Damian perform again together. Not to say it's not possible, but they seem to have there's a gap in between, right? They haven't worked together in almost it's over 15 years, right? So when you see certain things, support it. Like in September, if you went to R&B, Radio City, Tony, gonna be live. You may not ever see that again. Check it out. What we got here? Try to show everybody some love. Okay. I just feel Jay-Z's album after Black album are not timeless. It's hard for me to go back and listen to his music unless it's pre-Black album. You know what's crazy? When it comes to Jay, maybe within like the last 4 or 5 years, the album that I've played the most is Volume One. That's a top three Jay album to me. People would think I'd be bugging when I say it because Reasonable Doubt is always a staple. People feel like Blueprint is in there too, but he tapped 97 J was different, man. If we're like taking 1 year out of an artist's catalog or discography or career, there's very few rappers, if you're just taking 1 year from their career, that can compete with 97 J. Boy, it was different, man. Rock him on Hit Boy beats. Black album the most. Now that 444 is classic. 444 is becoming very polarizing. Depending upon who you ask, you're gonna get a total different answer, man. Because I liked it early on, and after a couple of years went by and played it back, it doesn't resonate with me the same way. But some people love that album. I didn't. It wasn't Jay's lyrics. I didn't like No ID's production on that, and it's hard to say that because No ID is No ID. But I don't think it didn't feel like they spent enough time on it, and the mix wasn't good either. That wasn't Young Guru's best performance. Imaginary Players, 97, yes, top J and D. J was different in 97, man. Not to say he didn't have any good music after that, but if I had to take any version of J like we do with Nas, I'm taking 97 J. The Real Leonard Washington was good. American Gangsters, the last album I thoroughly enjoyed from Jay. 444 hasn't aged well for me at all. Low replay value. And 444 is one of those albums where uh you have to be in a particular place to appreciate. You know what I mean? Like it if you're just now getting introduced to certain things, it may work out. Like for me, I liked it because it was Jay showing vulnerability, which he never really did at that time. Like you would get little glimpses here, but that album seemed like he tapped into something, like with regards to like sharing how he was maturing through life. But I don't know, it doesn't really resonate with me at this moment. So if you're in that particular headspace, you know what I'm saying, it may work. But 444, I think is overhyped. Some people got it in Jay's top 5 albums. Like, what are you hearing? I know music is subjective, but that album doesn't connect with me. Nas and Damian were gonna do a cruise boat tour right before COVID hit. Yeah. You see how many, yeah, put that up there, man. There are so many different ways to get bread. Like just listen to like reading some of the comments and some of the information you guys come into contact with that I've never heard. That's fire. That's what I mean. There's no reason why any successful artist, no matter the era, should be down on their luck. A cruise tour? Come on, fam. That's unique. That's unique. That's fire. Yeah, yeah, I agree with this. I was just saying, like, No ID. I don't know, man. It didn't have that soul that like, and I don't mean soul samples. I mean, it felt like it was missing something. That's why when you compare it to Life is Good, and you listen, first of all, Life is Good mixing is much better. The songs as a whole are much better. It's more range. And No ID just gave a better performance on that album. 444 beats were lacking. Yes, that's not a top 5 Jay album. But all in all, I'm looking like if Jay drops some music, that'll be fire. What's the last Jay album? That's crazy. I don't remember that off the top of the dome. Hold on. I'm not including that album with Jay Electronica. Last Jay solo album was, is it 444? What's that, 2017? Yeah, Jay been very inactive. The Realness 2, Cormega, Fire, and Styles P, and Havoc Records Man. That was a pretty solid album. That was last year, right? Early last year. I wonder if they're gonna run that back. But if Styles P is gonna run back anything, either in the studio with Dave East, that Beloved 2, we're well overdue for that. That's his last solo album, 2017. Whoa. Shout out to Jay though. Yeah, but if he gonna come outside, so when was that Jay Electronica album? That's what, 2019? Yes, about 2019. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit that like button. Magazine, what we got here? Let's entertain it. Why not? I feel Jay. Yo, a period. I'm gonna get to that comment. I feel Nas is poking Jay subliminally in interviews and some songs to have him come out again and other artists. But he did say he want people from his era to drop. He wants people from his era to drop. I think he had an interesting comment too. I just put it on my Twitter. It jumped out at me. Quote was I want to hear people, I want to hear how people feel. And I want to hear their art. I don't want to hear the trends. I want to hear the art. Express it, do it, and be free. So yeah, what better time? Like you should be able to drop an album now, Hip Hop 50, especially for those who have those insurmountable expectations, and just put it out there because you're doing it. You can always drop or fall back on or state that you did it for Hip Hop 50. You just wanted to put some music out. Like everything doesn't have to be this huge conceptual album, this well thought out situation when you bringing in orchestras and the marketing has to be through the roof. Just do it for the culture. Just drop an album. And there's so many people who need to drop some music, man. Say it again, that Q-Tip and LL. The moment I heard that they were doing a project together, they can drop the pre-order today, and I'm copping. Yep, that Billboard interview, he said that. If you just came in, we were just talking about that. That's a great piece of writing. I like that album. I mean that particular article. He seemed to be I don't know, comfortable with the interviewer. Hey Mom, what's good, fam? Black Bond, Where's the Love and Roses were bonus cuts. Oh, life is good. Yo, Where's the Love, my favorite song on that album. You can argue those are three of the best songs on the album and better than any song on 444. Where's the Love, hands down, definitely is better than any song on 444. Black Bond is fire. Roses, bonus. Obviously, everything is available to you now through streaming, so I don't know if bonus tracks really mean anything, but yeah, at that time, you had to get like the deluxe version. And Where's the Love? To this day, I don't understand how it made it there. It just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like the head scratcher, man. Like when they come up with the sequence and selecting songs, I don't know how they come up with that because that particular song fit perfect on the album. Now bonus tracks don't mean much. Said Jay is Fredo. Stay is fire. What's the best song on Life is Good? I don't think we did this last week. Stay is what it is. Shout out to No ID. You see the difference in production in a sense, like what he was able to tap into. That's 5 years earlier too. That's the first time I heard that, man. Well, Ghost and Ray working on the album. I'm copping that too. Yeah, Hassan. Yeah, man. What? Hold up. Where's the love over trust? I'm taking that. Yeah, man. Trust is the best song. Trust. Dame agrees with you too. Salam Remy did his thing. Salam is a problem, man. Salam has Salam is the glue guy. I think I said that maybe 2 weeks ago. He has some records on Nas albums that you like. Without this record, it's not the same CD or album. You take Poison off Stillmatic, it's different. It's so many records, man. Then he do The World's an Addiction on Life is Good as well, right? Trust. Y'all taking Trust? A Queen Story is a problem. Salam did that too, right? Cherry Wine. Yeah, we spoke about this. Some people didn't like that record, which is odd to me. I thought Nas, like, when you just put together all those elements from that record, Amy Winehouse, of course, and then the drums from Salam Remy, but just the melody of the track, like that was how all that came together was fire. Cherry Wine was fire. They were actually, when that album first dropped, a little time before it, at least in the city, they were playing that on the radio. Cherry Wine was getting some radio play. I don't know if it cracked top 40 or anything like that, but that was definitely getting some spins. Cherry Wine was the ultimate grown man song. Shout out to Amy Winehouse, man. Rest in peace to her as well, man. That was a great chemistry. They had a good chemistry. It's probably Staying Locomotive for me too. The World is an Addiction. That's Anthony Hamilton on that hook, right? Like that has it's eerie, it's cinematic. I don't know. That joint really Salam Remy, he needs his flowers as well. Because a lot of people kind of like try to play Salam Remy as if he's an album producer. He's not gonna give you the singles per se, which he gave you one of Nas's biggest anthem. Made You Look has to be Nas's biggest anthem, right? I'm not talking about his biggest song, but like that's a stadium record. Organically, too. There's no way they thought that was gonna ring off the way it did. Nas was so comfortable on Queen Story. That beat was made for Nas, I swear. A Queen Story. Life is Good, man. Life is Good is a phenomenal piece of work. Who did Thief's theme? Salam Remy. He did that, yes. Nas' ears got better now. What? But they weren't good then? The best records, what we got here? No Introduction, Cherry Wine, and Where's the Love on my top 3. No Introduction. That's fire. The Don. Heavy D did that, right? Heavy D and Salam Remy. Yo, man, I think y'all gonna make me run it back today. I'm gonna have to blast that. And fortunately for me, but 2 weeks ago, I was able to find Life is Good on CD. So I'm gonna crank that up because that CD, I'm telling you, y'all, play a CD and then play something on a streaming device, you're gonna hear the difference. That sound quality, the way the drums knock from a CD mix. What we got here? I just seen an interesting comment. Oh, here we go. They be hating on Salam because of his misses, but Salam got joints with Nas. He definitely has some joints, but what are some of the misses? Like, what is a record that Salam did for Nas that you look back and were like, that's trash, or you're not a big fan of it, or if it comes on, you'll listen to it, but sometimes you have the urge to skip it. Like, give me one record. I don't need a bunch. Just give me one. I want to know. Yo, that's a great. Wow. Funny how Nas never does Life is Good songs live. That's interesting. You're right. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's a great comment. That's a great catch too, Don. I don't think I've ever seen a video where he's performing those records live. And I went to the Radio City concert when that album was released. That was like New Year's. And I can't remember any records he did. No, that's interesting. Not one. The lyrical performance on Nasty. Listen, man, you're right. That entire album, though, that like if we speaking about Nas's performance, like writing, Life is Good. If we're just talking maybe just lyrics, it could possibly be top five Nas albums. It's not any misses on there really. Although it's one of those pieces of work is like a timepiece where you have to be like in a particular mood or maybe that place in life to where you gravitate to it because like when you juxtapose it to something like Stillmatic is a record where like we always say it's like a highlight reel. Life is Good is like a piece of who he is, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not in that particular headspace, sometimes you don't want to hear it. But lyrically, I think it could be a top five Nas album. I really believe that. Yeah. Life is Good is that's I don't know, man. Life is Good and Untitled are the first grown man hip hop albums. It's a great yes. Yeah. Life is excuse me, Untitled was what 15 years ago now, right? I think the 15-year anniversary just passed. Revolutionary Warfare featuring like what? Hold on, let me go back to some of these comments because I know I had asked name a record that you didn't like that Shalon Remy did. The Don Zone Out. That's off of Godson. Police is a thorn. It's sad he can't do them songs anymore. Oh, that's probably why he doesn't record. I mean, perform the songs live. What was well, obviously it was no singles on there, right? But he had a video for Nas the Don. Daughters. I've never heard him record do that live. That's odd, right? You're right. Is that a testament to how great his discography is, or is it because of 7 figures comment? Oh, okay. Maybe I missed it. He performs the Don a lot live. Okay. Because that's a stadium record. I don't think he did it at the Garden though. But when you have so many records, at some point you got to switch it up, right? So probably hard to because you got the staples that you got to perform at every show. People come to hear those. But Life is Good is such a great body of work, and to see that he doesn't perform a lot of that live, maybe he's just not in that headspace either. I'm saying for real, Ease been saying the industry missed out on giving us a physical media audio Blu-ray disc. Think about the audio quality of 50 gigabyte disc. That's fire. I never even thought about that. I was speaking about the CDs, but you're right. Could you imagine the audio quality? Listen, streaming is cool, but streaming is compressed. Like it, I don't know. I can't really describe it. It doesn't knock the way it should. No. It knocks the way it's intended because that's just the way it goes. It's similar to an MP3. But the audio on a CD, I don't know. The dynamics are there. The drums actually breathe more. It's weird. It's weird. I really believe CDs is a way that we were intended to hear music, and it hasn't been that great since. Streaming is even when you look at like iTunes or Apple Music, it'll say like mastered for iTunes. Even that doesn't sound great. They've tried so many different things, and nothing can even come remotely close to what a CD sounds like. Nothing. Yes, Imperial, you're right. CD is much better than streaming. That's why I got back into buying CDs again. I've been finding a bunch of CDs, man. I found Commons B the other day for $3, man. Like, let me get that back on that wave because the streaming don't really knock like that. And it's hard to review an album and I can get on here and say, yo, the drums don't knock or it doesn't sound good. But then you listen to streaming. So it's like, are we ever gonna get exactly what we're accustomed to? Because if you listen to like even the low end theory on CD, my God, it's perfect. Yeah, but vinyl is not going to crank the same way either. Vinyl has a distinct sound as well. I take vinyl over streaming, but as far as like that knock, CDs, man. What we got here? I missed a couple of comments I wanted to go over. What we got here? All right. Life is Good can be top 5 Nas. There's too much heat. It was written, Stillmatic, Lost Tapes. Then you have KD3, KD2 Magic, Not Happening, Ease, and KD4 on the way. No, I was talking about writing. Now, when we're talking about the best albums, there's so many different things that go into that, right? So many different variables. Because Nas don't ever let you down lyrically, but sometimes you may not. The production, when you compare certain albums, that's going to be like the distinction. So for It Was Written, most people love it because it has everything, right? You got the production, you have the concepts, you have his writing. Life is Good. Some people may not like all the production on it, but you can't ever front on the writing. Like his lyrical performance on it, his writing, and how his story that he intended to put on wax, how it came to fruition, and you knew exactly the direction of it by listening to that entire album. Life is Good is different, man. Life is Good. It's like audio book, man. I missed that comment. I love Distant Relatives. Distant Relatives is fire. I was just speaking about how I'm upset with myself that I didn't support that concert or the tour when they were actually performing together. Because certain artists, you don't know when they're ever going to get on that stage again together. Did anyone listen to Eminem apparently dissing the game and Melle and the song he featured in? I've heard about something on Twitter. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I pressed play on it. I don't. Why? Although he has every right because individuals have been dragging his name, but we almost that game situation. Are we almost a year removed from that? It was summertime, right? When game dropped Drillmatic. Am I bugging? It was definitely hot outside. So that's a year ago. And Melle was bugging on was that the Art of Dialogue? Although the OG has every right to speak his piece. But like with the MC Shan situation, right? It's how you go about it. That's all it is. That's it. I'm not an M guy, so I'm gonna stay away. I don't want to come across as a hater. Man, and my whole thing is when it come to M, people get mad. I'm gonna keep saying it. If he's that great, I just want the quotables. Like, give me that line that I need to hear that's gonna make me go down a rabbit hole. I know we can get into all the technical things about the fast flow and all those things. I need something that's gonna feed me. I need the substance. Give me the lines. And when I state that in the comment section, a lot of people get upset, yo, you hating, and then we go into this other stuff about, you know, what people typically go when it's concerning M. But I'm open minded. I'm definitely open minded. He could be one of the illest. I never said he's not, but that's your opinion. I respect that. But give me the bars. That's all I want. Would y'all go to an M? Have you ever been to an M concert? All jokes aside, have you ever been to an M concert? I don't. No, I haven't. I don't know the last time he toured, but yeah, it's okay. Typical M, fast flow, being mistaken for foreign lyrics. Yeah, J-Mar. Can't take away M's contribution, but you can't take away Melle Mel's either. So no matter what M does, Melle Mel still gonna be Melle Mel. That's Mr. The Message. Like, it is what it is. So that's like, I understand M defending himself. If he did, I didn't listen to the record yet. He has every right to do that, but it's kind of like a situation that's going nowhere. Melle Mel will always be Melle Mel, and M is gonna be M. So maybe they're doing it for the sake of hip hop. Maybe that's M's way of keeping the competitive nature going, or the spirit, because it's hip hop 50. But that's not something I want to hear. And even if he mentioned Game's name, I'm not looking for Game to respond and take it places it don't need to go. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes Game has the tendency to go overboard, and we're like a year removed from that. That's not Game's fault because he did his record and M sat on it, but I don't know. It just feels forced, right? Like we're so far removed from that. Let that go. J-Mo, I see you. And that's the issue. That's why I don't really get into that when we start speaking about M, because it always goes somewhere else. Like, nah, it ain't that. I just feel like his content isn't for me. Now, if we're all here because we Esco fans, right? The majority, right? And he resonates with most of us, right? Lyrically, probably sonically, or you can just attest to his greatness. So we have something in common because we're all on this live together. So me being an open-minded individual, we both happen to like Nas and an array of different other artists. You think Eminem is nice, and I can't really relate to his music. So this is an opportunity for you to put me on the game because I haven't heard what everyone else is speaking of. So what are the quotables and what are the songs I should listen to? And that's the most sincere I can possibly be. I'm not trying to be funny. When I ask for the quotables, people say, yo, you moving the goalpost. No, I'm not. Because that's how I kind of like gauge the music I love. First of all, you got to be speaking to me. Then we'll get into all the beats and mixing and where you grew up and all that's cool. But from the onset, from the very beginning, you got to be speaking to me. Your lyrics has to resonate. Ease, from your point of view, which song is better? One Love or One Love from who? Nas? What y'all think? Put that in the comment section. One Love or Stan? Listen to M storytelling, different concepts. I respect. So give me 3 songs I should listen to from M. I'm not trying to be funny. Listen, trust me when I tell you, I love hip hop so much. I'm open minded. I can even be not swayed, but I can change my mind concerning certain things. Over the course of time, M made his debut, what, on a national stage around what, 97, 98? That's the Slim Shady LP. Am I bugging? That's the album, right? That's around 98. So we're almost what, 25, 26 years removed from his debut. I'm not talking about when he was doing the underground thing. His music don't really, I'm sorry. So if you got something that I should be listening to, let me know. I will press play on it. I'll break the lyrics down. I just feel like sometimes he just overdoes it. So maybe I'm missing out. One, yeah, man. You see what I mean? There's too many variables. And then people be like, I'm moving the goalpost, Imperial. You see, Stan has to be played with the video. I'm not bumping that. The video at that time was so iconic. What's the dude name? He forgot the young man that was performing in the video. He was a movie star at the time. Like everything just came together. Not to say Stan isn't a good song. Is a good. As a matter of fact, Stan happens to be a word used in hip hop, kind of like ether, right? You're a stan. It's someone who's out of control. Not a fan. You're a stan. Not a supporter. You're a stan. But the video is what I remember most. Not lying, man. And I'm not trying to play M. Y'all got to get off this whole thing with like feeling as though M is some victim, and when people don't like his music, it's because of one thing. No, it's not. Because there's many people who look like me. I don't listen to their music. So that needs to go. That entire thought process. It has nothing to do with that. I just don't relate to the music. And if whatever you're relating to, put me on the game. Maybe I missed out. That's what this is all about. This is Hip Hop 50, right? It's history. Yo, E, you need to listen to this, listen to that, and then we can talk about it at a later date. I dissect it, but his music never really jumped out at me. And I'm not going to lie and say I bought any of his albums. Because the stuff they were pushing out, I wasn't impressed by. It felt like a gimmick, even when I was a young boy. Here we go. How is KD3 a skipless album when the mastering on Thun is ear piercing and 30 is terrible? Till My Breath, it's bad trap. Nas is not it. Nas is not it. Well, KD3 is not it, or Nas is not it. I don't know how to answer that because I'm a Nas supporter, so I can't say that he's not it. That's your opinion. But I'm solution based. So being that you say Nas is not it, give me 5 artists in the chat who happen to be it. And then we can take the conversation from there. Give me your 5 artists that you like, and then we'll kind of put it together with your comment. We'll have a nice little discussion. Solutions. Here we go. Not going to lie, Nas started a false narrative when he said M killed Jay on Renegade. No way. Just like when Jay said it was written was mid. False narratives. Shout out to Michael Williams. That's crazy. You know what it is? Well, I'm not gonna touch that either. I think M's flow was remarkable on that song, but Jay was going crazy. That may be a false narrative. Eminem murdered you on your own edge. Yeah. Yeah, that's the art of war, right? Yeah. I guess they both are yeah. They both changed the course of history with some of those narratives. But M definitely was going off on Renegade. I think it was more so the flow for me. It was so that was smooth. But Jay was spitting on that lyrically. Jay's flow was A1 too. Oh, so I must have misread that. My bad. That's why it's important for me. Yes, you are absolutely correct. You did say that. My bad, fam. Nas on trap beats is not it. You know what? I can't argue with that. If you don't like that, you don't like it. Because for me, I've stated I don't like Nas with the double time flow. Like on Abracadabra would be one of those, right? Urban Magic Johnson. It's okay, it's good, but it's not prime Nas as far as an entire song, everything coming together. Obviously, Nas is always going to be spitting. When we say you don't like a Nas song, it's rare that you saying, yo, he was talking garbage on there. That's just not something that you get. Maybe you didn't like the beat. Maybe you felt like the intro was too long. Maybe you felt like the hook was too gimmicky. But when we're talking like an entire Nas song, it's rare that you say, yo, he mailed that in. So I understand where you're coming from. You don't like Nas over trap. I can dig that. That was prime. I'm missing a bunch of comments. My bad. I know a lot of people speaking on the Slim Shady joint. Yo, Vanguardian TV, what up? Yo, hold up. Harry Fraud and Conductor's beats are like Audio NyQuil. Word, hold up. I happen to like Conductor more than I like Derringer. Am I bugging? I think Conductor is like really finding the sound now. Am I off? Obviously, take away the tag, conduct, all of that stuff. But I feel like, yo, he gets busy. He said Audio NyQuil. Oh, Harry Fraud. I liked Harry Fraud's earlier work when he was doing records with like But he was producing for like um French and they do some records with Max B, right? He was locked in with yeah. Wasn't he doing like the mac and cheese era? He needs to drop his tag though. You know what it is? It's too much. It's too much at times. Yeah, audio tags, and I understand the audio tags early on in the joint. Like when the track first starts, I can get that. Or even if an artist says your name, like Dark Child would have a bunch of people saying his name on the record. But yeah, when it's played too much, nah, I'm over that. Yeah. Audio NyQuil, that's crazy. Yeah. Harry Fraud got joints with Currency, but he's not consistent. Love Conductor's production on the first Rome Street album. Currency. Harry Fraud. Yeah, Harry Fraud as I don't even him and I didn't like the project him and Dave East did together either. I don't know. But we got to be talking how many years removed are we from Harry Fraud's debut to the game where we everyone acknowledged or understood who he was. So he's definitely had a nice little run, but nah, I'm not the biggest Harry Fraud guy. The conductor. Hold on, let me see if I can get. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Abracadabra or Urban Magic Johnson. He could have kept those for sure. Yeah, and it's okay to state that, right? Like but you know what? A lot of people love that Urban Magic Johnson, but I think what they love is the lyrics. I think they mistake what we're saying that we don't like the song. That it's because of the lyrics itself. Nah, just the production wasn't for me. What do we have here? Hold up. M destroyed J on Renegade. Everyone pretty much agrees. That's why people started saying they didn't want to get outshined or Ethan on the track. Not yo, I don't listen. Everyone hangs around different individuals. Everybody like have their own taste, but nah. M was definitely doing his thing on Renegade. Not gonna take that away from him. I'm not gonna take that away from him. But Forever Renegade, you get a EPMD too. We have to keep in mind. I think he produced Renegade too, so right, that's within his realm. You know what I'm saying? But not EPMD two, Renegade. But when you juxtapose those two records, I don't listen, man. Maybe I'm missing the comments, but I asked, yo, put me on the M. Like, what's the records? Slow it down. Yeah, is a perfect record. Yeah, I can see that. Music licensing. It's one of the. I'm one that likes EMJ. It's gonna get a lot of play during the NBA season for real. I can see that happening. Reminiscent of what? Like the last time we really seen a hip hop song get a bunch of play during the NBA, that was what? The last one I can remember was Kanye's. It's amazing. I remember that they had a whole campaign going with that. You think EPMD two is good? I don't like M's verse. I think whenever M come on, I turn it off. Not gonna lie. I just felt like everyone should play their role when it comes to a record, kind of like a band. That's my analogy, right? Bass player and drums, we're gonna lay the foundation. Don't move from the pocket. We stand right there. Keyboard player, whatever chord progressions we doing, you stay there. We're gonna have some aux keys. You come in and out, the accents. M came in and it was like a guitarist just soloing and screaming throughout the entire track. He just took a. It should have just been E-Dub and Paris and Nas. It's EPMD two. I don't outside of streaming. Why was he on that record? It doesn't make sense to me. Outside of streaming numbers, why was M on that record? Let's keep it a bit. Somatic, you're right. Grounded on My Life did get heavy play. You are absolutely right, sir. Great air, yes. It's like M was. You ever go into a situation where you trying to prove a point? He tried to steal the show, but he ruined it. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. I don't understand why he was on that record. And it's not an M thing. I don't care who it was. Whoever would have came with that mentality, I would have said the same thing. That record should have highlighted EPMD too. Why don't just give them another verse? It was too much. Listen, I'm not fronting on M. M is that dude when you playing ball, he dribbles for like 10 minutes, never passing the ball. It's it can be frustrating at times. It can be. That EPMD2 was the culmination of all of that. I just didn't think it fit. But if he's a fan of EPMD, I respect that. That's why he was on it. I think we all are. And if you aren't, Hip Hop 50, go do your homework, because Eric Sermon, his contributions to hip hop, the way his music is aged gracefully, you need to be in tune with that entire movement. So if that's the reason why he was on it, Hassan, I can respect that. I just didn't think it was one of his best performances. But he's entitled to that. We got to get back to that one. Super chat. Lyrically, Jay's verse on Renegade has far more substance, without a doubt. Like Jay said, do you fools listen to music or do you just skim through it? That has to be one of the most recognizable quotables in hip hop history. Like, you see that quote a lot. Like that's the, yeah. I can't knock it. Listen, I was one of those early on. You get caught up in what you think it should be or the flow, but Jay opened up on that. It's a good record though. I like Renegade. Renegade is fire. Wasn't Royce on that originally? I don't know if I ever heard that version. I could have though. You can quote almost anything off Blueprint. He was talking. Yeah. J Mar, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. J Mar, one of the most knowledgeable brothers, and I know that supports me. Like, read some of his comments. Like, some of you, a lot of you should be like writers, man. Like, have, I don't know if blogs and stuff like that still a thing, but your knowledge and the way you kind of express how you feel about a record or an artist is A1. That's how you can really tap into like who's been around this hip hop thing for a while, the connections that they make. And also from J Mar, I learned, because I'm still learning too, how he reviews an album. What you do, like you said, you play each song 3 times, back to back to back. So track 1 3 times, track 2 3 times, whatever many tracks you have, 3 times, back to back to back, and then he listens to it in its totality. That's a great listening experience. You know what I'm saying? You need the patience to do that, and you also need the time, and you need to be isolated from individuals to make that happen. But I thought that was very unique when he stated that. That's fire. The OG version was Royce and M. Yo, man, don't make me do this, man, because I've been asking for bars. No one will not state bars. So Real Leonard Washington came with some bars. More shells than Taco Bell. Y'all don't get me started on that mid M feature on EPMD2. Yeah, listen, even as an M fan, you have to acknowledge that wasn't a good feature. It wasn't. And a lot of people early on was trying to they were trying to make that Renegade Part 2, like he came in and stole the show. No, he didn't. He did not. He didn't. He didn't. But shout out to M. He's been around for a long time. In the comment section, if you're an M fan, I want you to be honest, because we do this to Jay. What we were just saying, his last album was 444, but most people, the last album they love was American Gangster, probably, right? Some people love 444, but I'm talking about, like, when we're talking about percentages, it got to be at least 80 or above percentage-wise of the people who love American Gangster or really appreciate that album. So with that being said, what's the last M album that you love? Because when we start talking about who top 5 and all of this, I believe that, like I've stated in the past, this joint is it's not static. It's always flowing. You got to keep working, right? And some people, when they continue to work, they're just widening the gap. But what's the last Eminem album that you loved? Eminem Show, the Marshall Mathers LP. What's that? 2000? I'm just Marshall Mathers. That's 2000, right? Yep. The Recovery. What album was that? Don, I'm gonna get to that comment. You said don't rewrite history. That was Prime M. He got J. If people feel that way, I ain't gonna knock it, man. M was like that flow on that. Listen, man, it just fit perfect. It was perfect. That's Prime M. That's 2001. So Marshall Mathers LP was 2000. That's 2001. Yeah, that's Blueprint. That may be Prime M. I don't think there's any arguing that. Yeah, Kamikaze. What year did Kamikaze come out? Marshall Mathers LP. That seems to be the one that everyone's talking about. I'm gonna go back and listen to that album as well. Been a while. Kamikaze, Recovery. Was Recovery like around the time when he was doing like a lot of the pop stuff? Because I wasn't a big fan of those singles either. Because what always puzzled me about M? I thought he would always sell records, right? Like for whatever reason, I just thought he had the demographic to where they would come out and support no matter what, right? So I never understood why he would always go after the extra pop single, like with what's her name, Skylar Grey. Was she on those singles? I know he did one with Rihanna, but I think he had like back to back albums where he had like the same young lady on the hook for the single. I never understood why he did that, because he always considered to be like a hip hop head, right? So I never understood why he needed to, quote unquote, make records for the masses where I don't think it was necessary. And some of those records didn't age well. And that's what I mean by replay value. Like, do you really consistently play M's records? And if I'm wrong, let me know. I'm cool with that. I want to learn. I'm not one of these guys that think he knows it all, because I don't. I don't know it all. Music is history. It's history. Put me on the game, because I hate to be that guy talking and don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to do that. I'm a student. Magic 2. Black Magic should be the single on the album. A lot of people love that record. It's kind of, I think I stated maybe 2 weeks ago, no, maybe last week, I was kind of turning the corner on that record. Not to say it would ever be better to Slow It Down than me, or I don't know, Pistols on the album cover, or what it all really means. But I thought that I understood what people were stating and why they liked it. But even when we say singles, nowadays, what does singles mean? That's an honest question. Because if Nas isn't getting radio play, we're talking about, are we talking about videos now? Like the video that we want to see created? That's an honest question. I want to know. Because if he's not getting radio play, so when we talk about the decisions made with regards to what the people are going to hear, are we talking about the videos they should do? And it's kind of baffling too that we're 3 weeks in almost with this album. It's Hip Hop 50. We still don't have a video for this album, and we only got 2 for KD3. I seen a video where you said Untitled is better than To Pimp a Butterfly. That's Wild Ease. Untitled started the work, but To Pimp a Butterfly finished the job. No, I think I stated that. Pull up the video. Let me know which one it is. I stated that without To Pimp a Butterfly, there will be no, without Untitled, there will be no To Pimp a Butterfly. Untitled, 15 years anniversary this year as well. But we're not going to ever front like, and if someone stated that, I'm going to go back. You know what? I'm going to do that too. Listen to both of those albums back to back. Untitled definitely has more range. And Untitled, as far as aging, many people don't talk about the album because of Nas's vast discography, but we're never gonna front on that. When we're talking about relatability, what's happening now, and how you can relate it back to that album, the concepts, Project Roach, ain't nobody doing that. What? Without To Pimp a Butterfly, excuse me, without Untitled, there is no To Pimp a Butterfly. And he did that. That was like strictly off artistic vision. He got a lot of drawback because obviously the album was going to be named the N word. Put it to Untitled, and people fronted on the album early on. But if you go back and listen to that album, we're not going to act like it doesn't deserve a place within conceptual albums history. Like, obviously, I think I did a poll: which album was better, Minstrel Show, To Pimp a Butterfly, or Untitled? The Minstrel Show would take that. But when we talking about execution, I think Untitled was much better executed than, as far as writing goes, than To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly may have more of the how can I put it? Like the mix, like you got Robert Glasper on the album, you got Terrence Martin, the musical elements, how some of the decisions that he made the music that much better. But we're never gonna front on Untitled. Never front on that. Untitled is a problem. It just so happens that Nas has so many great albums, something has to fall under 5. But if Kendrick did Untitled, would it be a top 3 Kendrick album? That's all I'm saying. Am I lying? Fried Chicken, Buster ate that too. Shout out to Buster. Minstrel Show. That's, as far as me, like that album is what could have been. I want to mention there's some great comments in here, man. Y'all going ham today. Hold up. Stoic J, you done took us down the rabbit hole. Hold on. Let everybody get their joint off. To Pimp a Butterfly was the beginning of Kendrick being an overrated casual Grammy. Nah, To Pimp a Butterfly was fire. I think he took a risk on it. I just feel like Untitled probably gave him the confidence to do so. Not to say he bit Nas. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, in the sense that to see that someone who's highly regarded took that risk actually can give you confidence to try it, and you have a machine behind you. So I always commend Kendrick for doing that, and I still play that album from time to time. A lot of people hate on it, not hate on it, but they feel as though it's not that great because it doesn't have those smash hits. But I like that album. And I think it's better than Mr. Morale. Execution wise, everything. He seems more comfortable. I love To Pimp a Butterfly Untitled has aged well for Nas. Didn't love it when it was first released. Like it more now that I'm older. Yeah. And I think most of us felt that way because Untitled was what? 2000, that's 8? Is that around 8? 2008? 2000, something around there. So the album before that was what? Was it Hip Hop Is Dead? I could be wrong. I gotta look up the years though. Because one thing with Nas, sometimes it's gonna take a while for us to catch up because he can do that. Like you think you getting a particular album because you judging it off the previous release, and then a lot of fans be like, "Yo, what is this?" That's because the expectations, right? Like he doesn't move in like a linear fashion. Like it's never straight across. He can take you all over the place, just trying different things. Some things may hit on a unanimous stage, but like some people may catch it a little later. I'm guilty of that as well. Has anyone heard the Mike Tyson, Hassan? Has anyone heard the Mike Tyson song on the Untitled mixtape? When I bring it up, no one seems to know that song. I'm not gonna say that I did, but that's what I'm gonna do. Write it down. And Nas has a bunch of joints too where you heard the song, you just don't know the title. That's just what ninjas do. You just gonna eat shit. I said that was fire, man. Pimp a Butterfly has skips people don't talk about. Let's talk about it. Give me 3 skips that you on that album. Cool with that. Mr. Youngblood, yes, AZ stated that he's dropping. He finished his album. I don't know when, but obviously, I think he's gonna get in on the festivities. Hip Hop 50. I'm all for that. Yes or no? Are you looking forward to an AZ album? Anyone? Yes, no, maybe so. AZ, Brooklyn Zone. Matter of fact, I just put a poll up in the joint in the chat. Let me know. Yes or no? Are you looking forward to an AZ album? Here we go. I seen a video where you said no. We did that already. We addressed that. I missed someone's super chat. My bad. Oh, here we go. My bad. Godson or Blueprint 2? Godson. Godson. Just the fact that Jay did Blueprint 1.5. They had to condense that. I like Godson. Blueprint 2 has some joints. I just double albums are hard to execute, man. It is. The last verse on Slow It Down on the Minstrel Show explains everything men think about relationships. Anyone hit? Well, I don't know because I don't know the age demographic, but it's a great comment, Hassan. I'm going to ask you a question, the following question. Has everyone here heard the album, The Minstrel Show by Little Brother? Because I think that's a body of work that everyone should know. And it's amazing how so much like people were getting upset when that album came out, the album cover, but that concept and how they were able to just execute that. And at that time, that's when BET was wilding out, man, with the videos. They had the BET Uncut and all of that. And to see people getting upset about these individuals making an album about people, quote unquote, shucking and jiving, but being okay with the BET Uncut when Nelly taking credit cards and swiping it through a feed. Like, that joint was crazy to me, man. Like, I will never understand that. It's one of my favorite songs, man. How relevant is We're Not Alone on Untitled now with the government releasing all the alien intel? At the time, man, like between Nas and like Prodigy talking about what they seen and like with because Prodigy was big on that. Like he said he physically seen the sighting from his bedroom. I'm not going to attest to whether or not that's my theory and things of that nature, but like you stated, I think it was just Capitol Hill talking about that, right? Songs like We're Not Alone, that whole album, like he touched on so many different things, and people would think that you is far-fetched or you speaking about things that aren't remotely possible. But Untitled definitely aged well because the writing, the creativity, and it almost felt like he was coming from a factual place, and a lot of the stuff is coming to fruition. So, like I stated, an album may not always be considered a classic from most people because of they may not like the beats or the production or the mix. But if you go down and listen to some of Esco's lyrics, like J Mar said, a lot of the stuff is relevant and it still feeds you to the present day because it comes from an honest place. It comes from an individual you feel as though who is an avid reader or researches. So go sit down with that album if you haven't, man. And also sit down with the Minstrel Show. Those are two phenomenal bodies of work that a lot of people don't know about. Everyone seems to know about To Pimp a Butterfly because obviously it got the push. He had great videos attached to it at the time. Kendrick was out of here. But Untitled, that gets forgotten. And the Minstrel Show, at that time when people were selling records, didn't move no units. And I think they were on Atlantic at the time. 2008 was Untitled. Oh, God. Justice League's mixtapes too. Listen, I remember going to, I forgot what store, maybe it was FYE, and they had a box set from the Justice League. I hope so matter. We're talking about the same Justice League, right? We're not talking about Justice League from the production team from Florida. We're talking about like the away team and Ninth Wonder, the whole North Carolina crew, right? They had this box set, the away team, Ninth Wonder's album. It was a green cover, Dream Merchant, and who else is in that joint? Was it Chitlin Circuit? I forgot what it was, but listen, man, what those dudes were doing at the time, I hate that it didn't work out. Justice League was fire. I'm not talking about Justice League attached to the production trio or duo that most people know from Rick Ross. North Carolina Justice League, Big Doe and all of them. That's good times, man. Yeah, Fonte is definitely, there is no Drake without Fonte. Ninth Wonder, Crisis. Good times, man. Great times. Untitled is better than Magic 2 and KD1. Is one of Nas's top 10. It's one of his top 10 Nas albums, in my opinion. KD1 and Magic 2. Yo, I can't even argue with that, fam. I can't. Obviously, Magic 2 is going to be hard to put that over anything because it's too early. Like it will be 3 weeks, maybe 2.5. I'm not rolling with that. KD1, I can see you putting that over that as well. Untitled is fire, man. You just have to be in a particular place. Like, it's not like you're gonna expect to be pressing play and partying to that record. No, but if you're sitting down, you're in deep thought, or you're just chilling out, that album is it, man. You're just looking for something to feed you. Yep. Vanguardian TV, we spoke on this too. Said the veterans need to come outside and drop some music. He looking forward to it. And why wouldn't you? I'm gonna keep saying this. Most of us, if you got a 9 to 5, right? No matter what you do, you kind of like plan your week, right? Some people, to alleviate or have more free time in the morning, you'll probably meal prep on a Sunday, right? You get like 3 or 4 meals done. So you just grabbing everything out the fridge as you walk out, right? That way you don't have to prepare anything. So as a hip hop artist, you're looking at the years, right? Increase. You're still on the planet. You're still on the planet. You're alive. You're thriving. Why wouldn't you plan something to drop on the anniversary date or the anniversary year? Like it's astonishing that so many artists don't have any shows going on. They don't have no merch. They haven't put out any music. It's just Hip Hop 50. It's like free promo. People want to hear from you, and we're not getting anything from certain artists. I'm not even saying new music. Like, why? How are you not doing shows? Obviously, KRS-One, people like that, Big Daddy Kane or Dougie Fresh, they've been touring. Like, Hip Hop 50 isn't something that made them come outside. Why not link up with someone, another artist? You could be overseas doing shows. I don't understand, man. So much money being left on the table, and people will go out and support. You think people don't want to hear their favorite artist? I know I do. I go to a show. Somebody said Prime M is untouchable. So what they say, 2000, 2001, Prime M. Mm. You guys agree with this? They are scared. That's why they're not dropping music. But that's the thing, though. Like, I think the fact that it's Hip Hop 50, the expectation should be you could even test the waters. Just put out one song. See how people put out your best song. See if the people like it or not. But to not put anything out is crazy to me. And scared of what? New music? All right, so get on the stage and perform. Do the old stuff. Because even if you don't have 10 hits, you could do a set, half an hour set where you do 4 songs and then link up with another artist who may have 4 or 5 songs, and then another one that's what, almost 12 to 15 songs. That's an entire show. This shit, like, I don't understand this. They could have got busy. Hold on, look, I'm trying to find because the chat is going so fast. My bad, man. I seen a comment where they said, G Rap still cooked him though. I'm looking for the record. What we talking about? What record are y'all referring to? I'm trying to get to it. He cooked who? Let's go. Ease. All right, my bad. I'm missing some super chats. Ease, where do you place Untitled in Nas's catalog? It has to be top 10, right? It has to be. I think it's mandatory top 10. As of right now, I don't know the exact number. I think it has to be mandatory top 10. It has to be. Because I think it's more of like a consistent listen, right? Because I'm not looking, it's a concept album, right? So the skips are gonna be, won't be as much as compared to an album where he had like the smash hits in the sense. Like, I think that is a more consistent listen than probably a I Am. I may be in the minority, but for me, where I am today, presently, I will probably play Untitled before I play I Am. Obviously, Ghetto Prisoners is like, that first verse is like an iconic verse. Like, he got records on I Am. Don't get it twisted, but we're comparing Nas to Nas at the moment. If you ask me today which album I would play first, it will probably be Untitled. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. Untitled is fire, but it's not for everybody. Here we go. Why not do a hip hop 50 song featuring everybody, like on Stop the Violence? That would have been fire too. That would have been fire. The last time we seen veterans come outside like that, well, first of all, I know K Slade, God rest his soul, he was doing records where he had like 75 rappers on a song. But before that, and this is what makes Nas Nas, right? This is like, hip hop is dead. Where are they now? You know how many remixes that spawned? I mean, Daz Effects, all type of people was doing records because he shouted them out. We haven't seen anything like that really since. And you're right, JB, it'll be perfect for someone to do that. You started verse here, verse there, but I'm feeling as though, I could be wrong, a lot of cats didn't think it through. They didn't think it through. They were waiting for phone calls, not realizing it's 2023. You can put your own plan in motion. You got to wait on no promoters. Now, I will say, on Untitled, I'm not a hero guy. And when I say that, we're going to say it again because there got to be some caveats, right? When I say that, I'm not saying that Nas wasn't spitting because that's never really the case. You never say Nas gave whack verses. I didn't like that. Who did that? Polo the Don? It just didn't, it wasn't for me. I didn't like that record. But he definitely was spitting on it. If you can get past all of that, you good. Let me see. Top 10 with KD Magic series for Untitled is tough. Yeah, that's the thing too. I always forget about that. I always forget about that. Yeah, because yeah. Probably this week I probably put out my top 10 Nas albums because he got 5 albums in 3 years. Katie, wow, that's a great point, Don. I can't even front. Obviously, Magic 2 is too hard to gauge that, so I can't put that above in Untitled. I think Untitled is better than KD1. KD2, I'm starting to play that a lot as of late. KD3 is what it is. Some people say that's an instant classic. And Magic. Yeah, it's rough. But I think it's in my top 10 though. I'm gonna have to write it out. But to think that it's at the bottom of this his discography, like you look at some people listen, Untitled is like down there with Lost Tapes 2 and Nostradamus. No. Obviously, that doesn't mean that it's horrible when people do that, because to put an album at the top, you gotta remove something. But Untitled is solid, man. Untitled is fire. KD2. Now hear me out. KD2 has like Stillmatic vibes in the sense. Not I'm not saying it's Stillmatic. When you listen to it, it sounds like a highlight reel. Like I don't know. When you compare it to KD1 and how he made that jump in less than a year, he just feels it seems so comfortable. Like he really got back in his bag. He felt comfortable. And from there on, from KD2, because on KD1, you can listen to some records and you can hear like his breath control isn't there. Some things are off. If you listen to like for the technical things, you can hear it. But from KD2, it just felt like, oh, this is a highlight reel. I'm about to show you cats how I get busy. From the onset, the pressure, how he just found his pocket and sat there. Death Row East is growing on me to this present day. And when it first came out, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. But that record is fire. I love the way he told the story. He gave you enough facts. He answered some questions that he's been quiet about for years, but he didn't really go too deep into it. But just him speaking on it was enough. And then you get into that portion of the album where you get a store run and the moments and nobody. That's like a highlight reel. And then you get a composure. Like it's my Bible. KD2, man. Obviously, KD3 is what it is, but KD2 is like a highlight reel. Just doesn't have the hits because it's a different time. It's a different time. I love KD2. Illmatic, it was written. Stillmatic, the Lost Tapes. That's 4. KD2, it's 5. KD3, 6. Magic, Life is Good. KD, Godson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you putting KD? KD is at 9. Godson at 10. I can dig that. I will make maybe 1 or 2 changes, but that's your list. I respect that, Mike H. But KD2 is fire. And go, yeah. Nas. Yo, they have some great chemistry too, man. They have Favor for a Favor. And what's on the fix? I'm missing it. Nas' verse on that jump was crazy. What's the record on the fix? It's not coming to me. Obviously, they got the hip hop record with In Between Us. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, the fix is a solid album too. Yo, Face, we're gonna have a discussion about Face's discography, man. Yeah. KD2 is better than KD3 in my opinion. KD2 is sequenced better, especially at the end. Yo, KD2 is fire. I don't know. It just feels like KD1, he was figuring it out. And I like KD1. I like that a lot. But KD2, it just feels like he said, you know what? All right. We done practice enough. I'm gonna drop 50. And he just figured it out, man. Figured it out. Ease, how do you feel about Scarface? I love Face, man. I Face is fire. Is Face in my top 5? Mm, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far, but everything doesn't have to go back to the top 5. But I think what he was able to do and what he continues to do. First of all, on a feature, he's a nightmare. He can steal the show. He was able to shine within the group. He has hit records, and he was able to have a solid, phenomenal solo career. Like Face, he kind of checks all boxes. He's an MC for real. When we talking the South, I can't really name. I know there was this thing about who you taking, Face Mob or Three Stacks. I'm taking Face. Just on the fact that what he's put out, man. But you know what, J Ma? A lot of people feel that way, or they may state that. They may state that. I'm big on soul music. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever like really, for those who've been on this journey with me, like I'm a soul music guy in the sense that what you feed in me, you talking to me, like Face gives that, and he's vulnerable on records too. It's not many topics he's not willing to touch on. It's something about Face, like he just seems like an honest guy. He's transparent, and I think he has a discography to go along with that. Face is a problem. Daniel, we're not even. You said Willie D and Bushwick over Scarface? Never. I know you're playing around. You got to be trolling, dog. Got to be. Mr. Scarface is back. The Diary, Untouchables, The Fix. Man, listen. Yo, these comments are going dumb fast. I'm trying to catch everything. But a lot, yo, listen, J Mo, I understand that, man. Because you know what? A lot of people may feel the same way about you and I, one of our favorite artists, Lupe. A lot of people don't get it. I think Lupe is a rap god. And you ask some people, or you speak to some people about Lupe, and they like, nah, it's not for me. And some people feel that way about Scarface as well, but Face is nice. Not sure I ain't gonna make it out there, man. I dropped the ball on that one. But I'm gonna give Hip Hop 50 some time. I think I'm gonna be at the Yankee Stadium joint. Face Body J on This Can't Be Love. That's Face. Yo, you put Face over a soul sample, man. Somehow, some way, him and Beans left Earth. Not to say Jay didn't. Like Lupe. Now, because we can transition to that, right? Lupe may be one of the most polarizing, and I mean not in the negative way, right? Figures in hip hop. Like, it's either you love them or you don't like them. It's not never that really in between, because the in between people I don't really count because they don't know enough of the music to even. So that's why they're in that place. They never really sat down and listened to it. But Lupe, man, when it comes to like pure writing, I mean, 2 weeks ago we spoke about how hip hop may be studied in schools. Obviously, we have certain artists who've been on campuses or they have fellowships like Nas at Harvard. But when we go back to hip hop transforming over time into researching them as writers, like hip hop artists, Lupe is going to have to be one of those. Obviously, we stated Nas. Some people said Common has like great writings to where they can be studied. I think Lupe is going to be one of those guys. Like Lupe is a problem. Like Lupe, that's all I can say. Lupe is nice. He is nice. I think this is it. You said it best. I couldn't really. People don't know Lupe. They know Kick Push and Superstar. You're right. I think that's what it is. J Mar, that's a crazy three. Nas, Lupe, and Thought. Yikes. Hold up. Styles times Jada, Beans times Hove, AZ and Nas. Which one y'all taking? Or would you take Beans and Scarface? That can be a alternative, but yeah. Lupe is nice, man. He got a couple of records out this year, man. Maybe 3 or 4. And he's floating too. Rockefeller, y'all. Lupe is nice, man. I wish more people spoke about him, but if he wanted to, Lupe has hits too. Quietly, Lupe has hits. but he does music in the way he wants to do it. And he's been on that type of time for a minute. That's why he had that whole issue with that was Atlantic, right? The album Lasers. They was trying to shelf him. Blasphemy. You mean in what way? Lupe is not near Kendrick level? Nah, Kendrick don't want that problem with him. Nah, nah. Oh, so many comments in here. Y'all going off. Yeah, I think about this. Can't wait to hear Beans with his new AI voice. I think he spoke in an interview recently, right, where he was looking forward to using AI for the voice component because obviously he lost his voice because of you know the situation. Um, are y'all open to that? Like if the voice is just being cloned, but he's still writing his lyrics, would y'all tune in? Because Beans is man one of the biggest what ifs ever. One of my favorite artists. All right, JB, you would tune into that? Yes, I tune in. Some people not with the AI is. That's the thing. What about but what about the live shows? You're right. Because ultimately that's what most people are gearing towards, right? You start with um the recording and then you want to get on stage and give that to your fans. But if the voice isn't the same, man, I just feel bad because you can hear it. The lyrics aren't the issue, but it doesn't have that, doesn't cut through on records anymore. But that's a great question. What about the live shows? Maybe they could do something. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know if the for sale? I'm pretty sure they listen. I don't think they would shy away from not having it available. I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's on sale, right? Because that cover that he posted, or the one that I have on that's not the photo that's on the website. So I'm assuming that they have it for sale. And then they have different articles mentioned on the cover itself. So I'm pretty sure it's for sale. Probably got to go to your local magazine stand and get that, or maybe subscribe to them, have them mail it to the crib. Beats were sophisticated yet understated, and Nas was deaf with the delivery and lyrics were A1, immaculate grown man rap. Which album you were referring to? Are we talking about Untitled? Did I miss something? So the comments going mad crazy. Oh no, I got you. I got you. I got you. My bad. What this really means, slow it down and pistols on your album covers, an amazing 3-track run. In time, it might become his best album close. Beats was sophisticated yet understated, and Nas was deaf. Delivery and lyrics were A1, immaculate grown man rap. You know what? Let's go back to this comment right here. Three-track run. What it all really means, slow it down, and pistols on your album cover, right? Take those 3 records from Magic 2. Would you take that, or would you take Store Run, Moments, or Nobody from KD2? I think that's a fair comparison, right? And those happen to be like 3 of my favorite records on the album. A Magic 3, Magic 2. Slow It Down is my favorite. Pistols on your album cover, maybe second or third, and what this all really means. That's a phenomenal way to close the album. And most people, like a lot of people, have been stating how they break the album up in halves, right? You got the first half and the second half, and he was feeding two different audiences with each half. Towards the end of the album, I think that he was speaking to me on that joint, man. But what would y'all take? Magic 2 all day, Magic 2, KD2, KD2, Jada Body 50. What's that? KD2, KD2. Yeah. I think this was one of those comments or situations where, depending upon who you asking with that Jada and Bing situation, I think Bing's got it, but I think Jada decided on the wrong beat. They even said it, right? Rhyming over a disco beat. I missed a comment from Jimmy84. That's a good comment, Jamon. That would be AI done the right way. Absolutely. It's actually the artist behind it, right? We just somehow taking his voice, the original voice, and just putting it along with the lyrics that he wrote. Meet Joe Black. 50 lost his rap voice. Could be, but I don't know if we can, that whole 50 situation and his feature on Magic too. It just sounded like it was recorded horribly. They weren't in the same environment, and he sounds as though he needs to, work the kinks out. Breath control wasn't there. Store run was special. 16. Once in the blue always is clean. I think Storm Run happens to be many people's favorite record on KD too. Mine happens to be Composure, but I don't know. I don't know. Got the Hit Boy on that too. They was at the Garden. He brought a hit out. I just knew for a fact he was about to do that song. Yeah, I was open. Like, oh, yo, they about to get busy because that's one of those a B-side like you will probably never hear him perform. But I think that record is phenomenal. Favorite Nas album intro and favorite Nas album outro. Speechless, Meet Joe Black and Ugly. It's a great 3-track run. Yeah, it is. He has many of those, right? My favorite Nas intro, gotta be the Stillmatic intro for so many different reasons. Like when you ain't gonna lie, like you can ask people when they first heard that, they know exactly where they were when it came on. I can just remember, like, nah, man, those are good times. It has to be that record. Favorite Nas outro. Ah, man. That is a great question. Favorite Nas outro. Maybe Undying Love. That would probably be mine. That's something I would have to think about but I know that intro was something. The Stillmatic intro for obvious reasons. They thought he was finished when that first came on and that first snare hit. I was like, oh yeah, this is about to be different. About to be different. That's all we did. Yo, listen, no matter where you were, good times. Y'all think Nas can rhyme better than M? Besides his earlier work in tracks like Street Dreams, he never seems to rhyme crazy no more. What's rhyming crazy? Because in my point, like rhyming crazy would be like EPMD2, like just rhyming for the sake of rhyming. That's nonsense. That's not music. That's not adding to a song. That's just rhyming, getting on the song just to say you did it. M is not in the same league as Nas. M is not in the same league as a lot of rappers. M is not in the same league as Lupe if we talking writing and just rapping. I'm just keeping it a bean. Because some people they like all the tricks and like rhyming fast. What you saying though? I need those quotables. We've been on this live for almost 2.5 hours. I need some M quotables. Not saying he don't have them, but I need those. Rhyme crazy. Ezekiel, what up, man? Give me those quotables. Because M don't have a rewind. He has Stan. I respect that. But you got to entertain it sometimes because somebody may be watching. They may not know Nas's discography. They may feel M is so entertain certain things so you can give a little history. Then have somebody go down a rabbit hole. But M is, nah. A lot of people not listen. A lot of people stayed out the way of Lupe as well too. We know who Nas is, but I'm just keep speaking on Lupe because people should know who he is. A lot of these cats out here. How many people really stepped on Lupe's porch? And his listen, Lupe talked a lot of trash out here. He challenged many, subliminal way or direct. Not many stepped out. They didn't want that problem, man. Yo, don't listen. Y'all getting in y'all bag. I just seen Saha the Prince in the comment section, man. Saha is dead. Nice. Shout out to Shot Town, man. Stillmatic drop. I was at work. I walked to Virgin Record, brought the CD, went the CD. We got a ticket to see Nas that night at Webster Hall. When he did Ether at the show, the building shook. That's fire. That's fire. That's another record you'll probably never hear or see get performed either. You see why it's important? Like if you can get out and go to a show to support, because you'll never hear or see him perform Ether ever again. And you were able to see that. That's fire. You and probably how many other people were able to see that? And now you can speak about it and you were there to experience that. And no one else. I will never see Ether perform live unless I go on to YouTube and press play. That's it. We'll never see that. Vanguardian TV. Royce didn't want that problem. He didn't. They was trying to make it about everything else. He know he's seen the writing on the wall. Nah, Lupe is different, man. Lupe is different. Leave Lupe alone. Eminem would destroy Nas in this prime. I'm gonna entertain it. I need M quotables in the chat right now for all this destroying he was gonna do. Because in order to destroy somebody in a battle, you have to say something. You can't just rhyme fast. I think people are not understanding that. And in order to destroy someone or come out victorious, you got to be spitting. Not to say M doesn't spit, but if you're going to make that claim, I need the bars. You got to be saying something. So a Nas perform Made You Look remix with Luda and Jada at Webster Hall. Man, listen, man. Y'all ain't here. Yeah. Listen. Those are moments, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of y'all have some moments like that with a particular artist that's probably not getting busy right now or doing shows, and you were able to. That's crazy. When you gonna get Luda, Nas, and Jada on the same stage again? Not to say it's not possible, but with their schedules, when's that gonna happen again? Maybe this year, Hip Hop 50, we can get lucky. Not gonna hear Nas perform Ether again. Good times, man. I missed all of that. I saw it on a Made You Look DVD. That's fire, man. EQ, I'm waiting on those bars though, man. I'm doing my homework. I need some M bars. I said I was going to go back and listen to. Somebody said Mike Tyson, right? Off the Ninja mixtape. See, I'll be writing my stuff down. I'm gonna get busy. What we got here? Digipack CDs feel cheap. I miss the jewel cases. Yeah, the only benefit to the Digipack CD is the fact that jewel cases used to be a headache when you dropped it and you broke it, and now you gotta swap it out for something else. Oh, I don't listen to this CD, so let me take that off and put the credits in this one. But yeah, you're right. The Digipack, yeah, the jewel cases is definitely different. Even the way they sit within your collection, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just Digipack sit out like a sore thumb. But yeah, that packaging was definitely different. But the jewel cases, you had to take care of those. Drop it one time, you better have some backups or you finish. CDs. Let's get back to owning some physical copies too, man. Because one thing with the streaming, they can say one day that yo, we're gonna shut it down. We don't own none of it. It's on a cloud. They can just decide, even if you pay for it, it's gone today. That's it. What we got here? Eminem is a comedy rapper. Listen, I just need some bars. I'm not even trying to be funny. I want to do some homework this weekend. I'm listening to some music. Got more shells than Taco Bell. We need those. Shout out to M though. Oh yeah, I need to listen to that record he did. He's dissing. Well, not dissing. Or speaking on Melle. Whose album is that on? That's a one off by M. Son, you be spitting, dog. You talk your talk. Shout out to Soulmatic. We don't own none of it for real. They just licensing it out to us. And that's exactly what it is. When you hear a song, your favorite song like Nas on, I don't know, Illmatic songs on Ozark. That's licensing, right? They've taken a particular joint and they just placed it there and they pay the fee. When you stream and that's all you doing. All right, here's $10 a month and you can listen to whatever you want to listen to as many times as you want. But when we say we taking it down, you don't have access to it. That's why you get situations where you can listen to an album today and then someone may sell their catalog or the masters or they're having a dispute and you go under streaming and only 6 or 7 songs from that album are available. How's that possible? Because we don't own anything. But if you own the vinyl or the CD, nobody can ever say that you can't play tracks 3, 4, 9, and 10 because it's on the CD. With that streaming is funny business, man. Funny. I hate that. Hate is a strong word, but I don't like I need to own something. So I've been getting back into that, man. Getting back to that. And it sounds better anyway. The world is yours is better than anything M's ever recorded. See, one thing about M fans, not even M fans, certain fans within the hip hop culture, like someone came to you was like, "Yo, Nas, they're not a Nas fan, right?" And they can have their opinion, right? But you can state certain records like, "Nah, you bugging. Listen to this, listen to that." Oh, nah, he don't have what? He don't got no concept records. I listen to this. Oh, nah, he don't have no records where he's speaking to the ladies. Listen to that. Or he don't have any records where he go left field. Listen to that. You have an answer and a response to everything. When you ask M fans to put up or state the records that meet the criteria that you're questioning, they don't give you anything. They just take it somewhere else. Oh, you bugging? You don't like them because of such and such. Nah, fam. I'm asking for bars and you talking about something else. It's easy to say somebody can out rap somebody. What does that mean? What does out rapping someone mean? That you rap fast? Once again, what are we speaking about? Where are the lyrics? And that's all I want. Oh, that's fire. Any bars? That's not. To expound on moments, I spoke to Nas off the cuff over the phone in 2018, the afternoon following he and Mary J at VA Beach Amphitheater. 30 seconds. Nah, that's fire, dog. That's fire. Those are moments. That's something nobody can ever take away from you. Who, if you can support, man. Because you never know how things are gonna end up. Never. Y'all going crazy in this chat today. Audio Rappers Freestyle wrote it down. What do y'all think about that term freestyle? It's been like that for quite some time now, and I think people were speaking on it. I think who was it? Dave East was giving like an example of how like things have changed now because early on in the game you can call it a freestyle and you freestyle like on the West Coast, but no one will ever hear it because it was on regular radio. You know what I'm saying? Unless you had a cousin or something that lived over there and they sent you the tape. But now with I don't know radio stations being signed to like huge corporations like iHeart or with YouTube, you cannot duplicate or you cannot spit the same bars over and over and call it a freestyle because people would know within 30 seconds because the way things move. But freestyling is I'm still open to it though, but it's not the term that it once was. J Mar, you had a dope comment. I missed it. M fans will never get it. Most of them aren't even hip hop fans. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hate to say it. Yeah, but you're right. Because if you ask them what makes them a good rapper, they can't really expound upon it. Like their criteria for dope rap and fire lyrics doesn't meet ours because we're viewing or experiencing the genre from a totally different place. You know what I mean? And I think that's a great comment. That's simple but profound. You're right. But I'm never going to take away from the fact that he comes across as a very sincere hip hop supporter and fan of the genre. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a fan first before he's even an artist. He knows his history. I'm never taking that away from him. But I'm talking to his fans and his supporters. But you're going to put someone in the top five or say they're the best ever or they're the GOAT. You have to have some way of, I know, some evidence of making that a fact. And if I ask you to provide some bars or some lyrics and you can't do that, and then we keep going all around, nah, you just pretty much proving my point. Nas is a far better MC, no doubt, better bars, imagery, and all. But I've always considered M a better rhymer. I, I can respect that. Yeah, he said a lot of M fans never listened to rap till 8 Mile came out. I heard many people say I don't like rap, but I love Eminem. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Cat hat, baseball bat, tic tac. You know what I'm saying? Like those are rhymes. But at the same time, Nas is a far better MC, better bars, imagery, and all. That first sentence is what it's all about. Imagery, right? How are they painting the picture, the landscape? Better bars, all of it. Concepts. Maybe you're saying that Eminem is a better rhyme technician, like he's more technical. I can understand that if that's what you went to. When we're talking about just it's different. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't trying to turn this into an Eminem. Except for all the M stands, Nas goes lyrical miracle. On New York State of Mind, represent. Yeah, this freestyle, Stillmatic intro, Thief's theme, Streets Disciple, album done. Yeah, all right, there you have it. Lyrical miracle. Composure, my Bible, Nas is good. Best 3-song ending for Nas. Composure is my joint. I'm all Nas is good. Yeah, he was spitting on that too, right? And with the anti-establishment business. Yo, Nas is talking this talk on KD too. Little brief reminder. Yo, man, y'all about to get me ran out of here. I'm not. We're just having discourse. We're just discussing it. We're asking for bars, and those who seem not to be M fans are giving the bars that they hate. So the M fans, give me the bars that you love. Hit the babysitter with the potato peeler into entertainment. What? Nah, that's not fire. Yeah, it is. It's technical, like he's rhyming words within the same bar. I get that, but where's the understanding? Why does that matter? I, you know what? That's what it is with writing. That's the question. Even in school, they always say, why? Right? That's going to lead you down a rabbit hole. Why? So that bar that Imperial just put up, why does that matter? Why do you think that's hot? Not you. I know that you were trolling a bit, but why do people think that type of wordplay is considered to be the apex of hip hop or rhyming? Because they don't listen to nothing else. They don't. It's no substance. It don't feed you. It doesn't. That's a good comment. I like that. Biz Markie, he had his moments. I'm not saying it was always like this, but Biz Markie was, for lack of a better term, was goofy. I would use a different term than that, but he had good music. Yes, he was comedic, he was funny, he was charismatic. But at the same time, he gave you those memorable songs. You know what I'm saying? And even he was able to tell, like, you got what I need, right? Like, that's a story in a linear fashion. He's not going like a Nas, I gave you power with like deep details, but it's a nice story in linear fashion and it's memorable. It's good music. Like you can relate to it. Does M have that? That's it. And not just M, a host of other MCs. Do they have that? Nas is a better version of M on Ghetto Reporter. What are we talking about? Yo, that's a great point, TJ. Shout out to you. Nah, that's fire. Ghetto Reporter is the opening track on KD3 for those who don't know what he's talking about. But yeah, wow. Oh, y'all getting in your bag now. Only built for Cuban links, supreme clientele, or liquid swords. Thief's thing or hip hop is dead. Both contains the same sample. Um, I'm taking Thief's thing. The way he came on that the opening bars is fire. And it's just more gritty. Shout out to Salam Remy. Only built for Cuban links, supreme clientele, or liquid swords. You know what? Only built for Cuban links is that's the cheat code. We're gonna take that out. I'm gonna put it up. Supreme clientele or liquid swords, because only built will be number one for me. Um, wow, that's a good question, man. Goes back to the whole Wu conversation we had like within the first 20 minutes. Wow. Yo, I don't. Wow. I'm gonna have to go. Now, maybe in the minority, I'm gonna go Supreme, man. I think, yeah, I'm going Supreme Clientele. I don't know. I love Liquid Swords, to be honest. But Supreme Clientele, at that time, that was what 2000, right? Hip hop was definitely going in these different places for sure. And Ghost just tapped into something that was crazy. That's another album. When you ask most people where they were when they heard it or when it came out, yeah, I'm gonna go Supreme. But you can't go wrong with any of them. But Cuban Links obviously would be number one to me. But if I'm going between Cuban Link, excuse me, Liquid Swords and Supreme, probably Supreme. Because only built for Cuban Links is like that's the hip hop cheat code, is it not? There's only a few albums that can even stand in the same room as that album, or in the same conversation, without people thinking that you off your rocker. That album is like perfection personified. Like it's different, man. It's different for real. I'm Izzo. Y'all going at it in the chat, huh? Yeah, somebody's a special kind of gatekeeper. You guys agree with that? M fans. M was better with the slower flow. If he stuck more to his rock bottom type of flow and delivery. I don't, but you know what? The fast flow is, I don't even think that's the issue, right? Because it can be done in a tasteful manner, right? Like when Black Thought taps into that, you never feel like you're being cheated with just a bunch of words, like word salad. But that's unfair to Eminem because he's not in the same realm as Black Thought. I'll take that back. My bad. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. Worst collab idea. M and Crucial Conflict. Worst collab idea. Nah, what I was gonna say, it just didn't work out, but it wasn't a bad idea. Outside of Renegade, and I'm not talking about hits, I'm talking about something that sits with you and you love. What's another M feature that you love? JB, thank you for leading me to that question. What's another M feature that you love outside of Renegade? I'm trying to think because I'm drawing a blank, but I'm sure he has some. I'm sure he has some. Because him and 50 never, well, maybe Patiently Waiting, right? That was a good record. Yeah, that was a good record. But I can't really name a bunch of M features that I love. Thoughts on MF Doom? Progressive. Um, Unique. Very solid producer. Took chances. But I wasn't his core audience. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I can feel like people overstate where he lands on certain lists. But I thought he was talented. And I didn't like the fact that I don't know why he was doing that. I wasn't a fan of like when he would book shows and not show up and have some fake dude out there rhyming. I didn't like that either. But I can understand why some people love MF Doom because they like that the character associated with it. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't the biggest fan of MF Doom. Uh, it wasn't for me though. But I can state that. But if you feel I'm bugging outside of food, put the album I should be listening to. Or Mad Villain was another one, right? I think who did that? Mad Lib? Yeah. Emma Rihanna. See, that's those pop hits I was talking about. I wasn't a fan of that. Those didn't really sit with me. Oh, forgot about Dre. That's 99. My goodness. Forgot about Dre. JB, maybe right. Nah, bro. See, let's discuss this now. Both Eminem and Nas are in my top 5. Nas has the better bars and the stronger discography. Eminem is better when it comes to emotions, and Nas has more classic songs. Both are equal as storytellers. First of all, that last sentence, I'm not rolling. Everyone has their own opinion, but storytelling, absolutely not. Not in the same realm. With emotions, um, it depends what you call emotion, right? Because like what's emotion to you? Does emotion always have to be verbal? Hmm. All right, Eminem can make you can laugh, feel inspired and sad. Oh, that's what you mean by that. All right, I got you. Salute E. Shout out to you, Born Gifted. For M stands, the fast flow done right is Twister on Poe Pimp. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, sir. He's actually spitting and not just word salad. Nah, you shout out to Chicago, man. JB, I see you. Ease, don't lose your brain cells with them stands. Talking about it. Yeah, I can dig that. But I just want to know, man, because one thing you'll never accuse me of is being a hater in the sense where I don't ask for the research or the knowledge behind why you make certain decisions. I just want to know. That's it. Tupac is emotional. That's what I mean. Like Tupac tapped into something like I don't get that from M. I think people equate yelling on the track or being mad at your mom and you like I understand what he was trying to do or like Stan. Those songs call for that, but Dear Mama is an emotional record. But he's not yelling and screaming. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes the emotion can come through the lyrics because emotion is not necessarily about how the writer or the artist lays down the record, it's how it makes you feel. Like you can listen to Daughters of Life is Good and get emotional if you have a young daughter. Like it's that's what writing is all about. Kim had emotions. This is a great question. Hold on. In the comment, I want everyone to pay attention to this. Go crazy in the chat. How much hip hop do you listen to in a day? I get in at least 2 hours. So 2 hours is almost listening to like two full length LPs and a half. For me, that's a good question. I'm probably around that 2 to 3 hours. And that's without repeating a song. You know what I'm saying? If I'm play something back 2 or 3 times, it may be longer than that, but yeah, about 1 hour. Because you gotta keep in mind, like you got your commute, right? You can probably on a Saturday, you cleaning up the crib or you at the gym. Yeah. The music is always playing. Somatic, I'm the same way. Yeah. Oh, whether you got the headphones on or on the TV, something is always playing. Now, I mean, in the sense that I'm sitting down and listening, probably like around J Mar, that 2 hour, 3 hour range. Yeah, the gym. Yeah, many different environments. Some people you at your job, or you're in a cubicle or whatever you do. You out doing work, AirPods in, so you consume more music than you know. I can understand. See, and this is not far fetched. It may seem if you working 8 hours, 12 hours a day to get through the day, a lot of people play music. You know how hard it is to go through a day without playing music? It's almost like when you go to the gym, right? And some people say, I don't listen to music because music makes it easier. I want to get the grind in. Music speeds up time. And I don't have any scientific evidence to back that. I have no empirical evidence. But for me, if I'm driving in the car and it's silent and you sitting in traffic, it's not the same as if you listening to an album that just came out. Speeds up time. Gotta listen to music, man. I'm one of the people that actually like long albums. The longer the better. Yeah, but you talking about new albums? Like you mean albums that were released in the past where the album was long because the artist was trying to get I don't know, trying to get their ideas out or they had a particular direction. Or nowadays you got a long album where it's just long because they're trying to get the streaming numbers up. So you got dudes with albums with like 17, 18 tracks and you listening to it like, damn, eight of them drunks is filler. M plus 50 what? All right, man. Here we go. Another question, man, before we get up out of here. A little bit more time. Outside of the obvious, right? I ask these questions for a reason because it makes me go down and do some research. Outside of Nas or uh Ice Cube or Slick Rick, or even a Biggie for that matter, give me your top three storytellers. No Nas, no Big, no Cube, Slick Rick. Can't name any of them. Who are your top three storytellers in hip hop? No Slick Rick, no Nas, no I named some other individuals. Slick Rick, Nas, Big, or Cube. Kool G Rap. Knew that name was coming up. Shout out to Eric Ford. Scarface. Ghostface. Yeah, Ghostface is very unique. Yo, Ghostface we have he can tell a story. He's one of those dudes that can be erratic in the story. Like he can just be telling the story in a linear fashion, then he just give like some absurd detail, go left, and then come right back to the story. Common, Prodigy, Kool G Rap, Pac, Ghostface, Scarface, Ghost, KRS-One, Scarface, Tupac, Andre, Pac, Face, DMX. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Scarface seems to be up here a lot too. Oh yeah, Common. Scarface is better than everyone in terms of storytelling except for Nas. Cause he tapped into that the vulnerability. It's like you feel like you in the room with him. Serial silence. Here we go. Might as well throw the entire question away. Nah, man, asking for a reason because there's so many different artists out there who do things very well, but only a certain amount of artists get the credit. There's many different artists out there who can tell it. Fonte from Little Brother, he's immaculate at telling stories, but he won't get the credit because if you ask most people, they'll say a Nas first or an Ice Cube, and he'll be on the third page of the list before you even get to him because no one ever mentions or even gets that far within a discussion. So if you are ranking individuals, ask them their top five, but you can't mention Nas, Jay, Big, or Pac. And you'll be surprised about how much music you'll get introduced to because you're learning because people took away the obvious choices. Ask somebody their top five basketball players, but you can't mention Jordan, Kobe, Olajuwon, LeBron, Shaq, the obvious ones. And then you will know who really was watching hoops all these years. It's a lot of people out there who can rhyme, who have a lot. Discography is ridiculous, storytelling and all, but no one ever speaks about him. MC8, yeah, that's a good one. him. I've been seeing his name a lot. K Rhino. I gotta check him out. Let me write that down. I'm gonna run with it. I thought some people was trolling me in the comments at one point, but being that you put it in there, I'm gonna go check him out. I don't know who he is. I ain't even gonna front. The Game album was way too long. Ghostface for sure. Educate yourself before you come at me. That's why we here, Boulder. You see what I mean? Like, yeah. Because a lot of us, we debate from a place of just wanting to know everything or you wanting to be right. That's the wrong place, especially in this culture. You will miss out on so much fire music if you think you know everything. And just when you think you know, there's something else to. Someone just mentioned Roy Ayers in the comments. If you ask 80% of young cats who Roy Ayers is, they wouldn't even know. But some of the greatest samples come from his work. Shout out to Queens. One of the most memorable lines ever. We know that. That's Lost Boys, Mr. Cheeks. Renee. That's one of the greatest hip hop stories ever, too. DMX. I love the list that we get in the MCA. I gotta write that down. MCA got some joints, man. MCA had a phenomenal song on. What was that? Was he on? Yeah, he was on Pete Rock's Soul Survivor, 1998. Go check that out if you never listened to that album either. Renee still knocks to this day. Shout out to listen, man. True Fab is up there. We're gonna have a discussion about Fab someday too, because I don't think Fab gets the love he so rightly deserves from the hip hop community. A lot of people seem to think that he's some rapper whose lyrics are only good when you're making social media captions or something like that. Nah, he's witty. He knows how to tap into current times. But Fab is a problem. Fab is a problem. And Fab was out here giving us a lot of free music. A lot of free music that was album quality work. When he was on his soul tape run, very few artists did that. Because I know we was around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, go download that. And I mean quality music. Shout out to Fab, man. He may not have that universal classic, but Fab is a father to many different styles or avenue in a sense, where he made a lot of cats out here comfortable to rhyme. But he's a lyricist. Don't ever think Fab not nice. Fab get busy. Black Thought, Polo G. Okay. Yo, y'all here, y'all talking, y'all talk, man. But yo, we're not just chatting in the comment for no reason. All jokes aside, like, because next live we may talk about some of these records. Like, yo, if you're not familiar with some of these terms, write it down and just go put it in your streaming service and just listen. I don't care if it's 3 songs from an album. It may pique your interest, and you may find out you've been introduced to an artist that you knew nothing about, but they happen to be fire. They happen to be fire. Wow. DMX body in the trunk. That's fire. The question. We're just talking about the Wu, right? If you needed one verse, just one verse from anyone in the Wu between 94 and 98. 94, 98. No, we'll go back to 93. 93 to 98. Who would it be? One verse. You need a surefire. We're not talking about, we need a single. We're not talking about, we just need a fire verse. Who would it be? That's all I'm asking for. and we tend to know what fire is, right? A complete verse. Who would it be? Out the Wu between 93 and 98. Who you got? One verse is Meth. Got a couple of Ray. Uh Deck. Oh, I knew that was coming. Meth don't make great albums, but his verse is a classic. Deck. Oh, we on to something. I don't know. Once every other live stream, this comes up, man. Deck not getting that first solo album because of the flood, man, was one of the biggest what ifs in the history, man. What could have been? That would have been fine. Method Deck, but don't so I don't want verse. Capadonna, okay. All right. Seem like I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I should have did a poll. A Deck of Meth seem to be running this race. Ray. Yeah, Deck go more crazy on group stuff than the solos though. Yeah, because yeah, that got memorable verses, man. Memorable. Like opening that's not easy to open up a song like consistently and do what he did. Like that's crazy to me. Yeah, Born Gifted. We missed out on that. Faster Blade proves that Ray was skating on IML. Yo. All right. Jizza. All right, bet. All right. One more question. Here we go, right? One more question. Because we're gonna stick to the Woo. Method Man. I do these kind of posts on my community page. If a fan or a fan of hip hop is unaware of Method Man, unaware of who he is, and you had to play them one record to pique their interest, what would it be? No singles, METHOD, man, not none of that. What would the record be? You had to pique their interest concerning Method Man. Unfamiliar with his work. Which record are you playing? Bring the Pain. Okay. Shadow Boxing. Bring the Pain. Because I'm asking this question because Meth is a polarizing. It's like not polarizing. That's the wrong word. When it comes to Meth, he's respected, but it's like a lot of people didn't tap into his solo albums, and it's weird to me. Like I don't know anyone who I want to say that they don't love, but you think of that Wu-Tang run from Only Built from Liquid Swords, so you got 36 Chambers and ODB and Wu-Tang Forever. It seems like Meth album is the only one that people I wouldn't say don't love, but it doesn't get the same love as the other albums. Dangerous Grounds, okay. Scary Hours, Fire. Yeah, I know y'all ish, man. Write this stuff down if you don't know what it is. You got some hip hop historians up in the comment section, man. Go down rabbit hole, man. Make it easy. They're making it easy for you. You can never say you didn't know what it was because they providing all the answers here. All right, one final Wu question. Where does RZA rank with regards to greatest producers of all time within our genre, hip hop? Is he top three? Put in the comment section. Is he number one, top three, top five, or top 10? Number one, three, five, or 10. Top 10. Top two, top three, easy. Top five, okay. All right. Because what he was able to do was ridiculous. Extortion, my God. Yeah, he got big. Yeah. Top 10. That's different. Torture skit. Top three. All right. Primo, Dre, RZA, in no order. That's the Trinity. Him and Big. That's the what, right? I got Eric Sermon above RZA and Primo. I wouldn't even argue with that. Shout out to E-Dub, man. Green Eye Bandit. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not going to say if I agree, but I speak highly of Eric Sermon. When it comes to music that aged well, it's clean. Eric Sermon made great music, man. Pete Rock. And that's what it is. There you have it. You God said RZA beats was trash. He's out of pocket. He had his moment. I guess he was. Imperial don't miss nothing. He was upset with. I don't know what happened, but he was definitely mad. He had his run where he kind of like stepped off, was trying different things. Everyone is not going to stay at their peak, but yeah, Pete Rock is iller. All right, number one. All right. All right. Half man, half amazing Pete Rock. That's my joint. Soul Survivor. Appleheads. Joint. Oh no, here we go. It's good stuff today, man. I've been on the joint for 3 hours, about to get up out of here. I appreciate all y'all, man. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Lock in. Lock in, lock in. Be safe out here. And it's your man Ease at the Ease Experience. Go get yours. I appreciate y'all. Word up.